The reason I breathe.
Hi everybody, welcome to Coco Morning. So I'm going to start off this morning just by playing a little something from Anonymous Official's channel. Just so I want to start off and get a bit motivated first. So I'm going to play this. So yeah, see you in a minute, guys.
Says in the book. And if they haven't got a way of extracting...
Sorry guys, I just realised I didn't even put it on the screen. 1 minute, I'll start it again, sorry.
And they call it law, and we all go along with it.
I'm not the best at technology, guys, sorry about that.
Yeah, there's a conspiracy. There's people behind closed doors doing very bad things. Every problem is an opportunity, and this is a huge opportunity for us to address this corruption because the corruption is obvious. Look what they do to us. They're doing all sorts of things to us, folks, and this financial system is just eating up the planet. See, that's the thing, the financial system is the head of the snake. So this is our life, this is our society, this is what we go through. We just have this society that does this to us. The answers lie with us. It's all to do with us. Every problem that we face is to do with us, and we can solve the whole lot. The economy is what it's all about. We're taught that the economy is all important. That's what all of our societies are based on. Politicians get praised for supporting the economy, for improving the economy. It's all about the economic model. And this is how we've built our prison, because we are the ones who have built our own prison. We can blame the system all we want. And sure, the system is a lot to blame, but it's our participation in the system. What we've done through the education system, we've been given a misguided perspective of success. And in this way, we've built our own prison. And now we've got this meme, which basically enslaves us, but it's just an idea. The whole system is just an idea. Government is just an idea. Government isn't real. It's an idea that people write in books. And men with expensive suits go to these buildings and they do what it says in the book. And if they haven't got a way of extracting more wealth from you, they just write it in the book. They put a rubber stamp on it and they call it law, and we all go along with it. But it's just an idea. It's just an idea. It's not real, but we currently discard humanity in order to support this economic model. And that's what it's all about. Not many people ask themselves the question, why do I have to pay to live on the planet that I was born on? It's a really interesting thing, but we do. We have to pay to be alive. There's nowhere you can go to get away from this system. You've got to use the knowledge that you've got to confront the system. You've got to face it, put down the fear, and use your energy and face it. What we're dealing with here is something that's going on right around us right now, and we're going down all these rabbit holes looking for people to point the finger at. We're not looking at ourselves. We're not looking at what's happening around us. Every single problem that we face on this planet, whether it's pollution, whether it's homelessness, whether it's Fukushima, that I showed you before, whether it's coal seam gas mining, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's the corporate rape of the Amazon, doesn't matter what it is, all of it happens because of legislation that's put in place by governments. And the governments get away with doing this because we live in disunited, disempowered communities because we've been trained to be that way. We're caught on this economic treadmill, running around judging ourselves by social and economic parameters, measuring each other by the size of our front doors and what type of car we drive, what we look like, what we dress like, what our rung on the social ladder is. And it's all fiction. It's all parameters that have been put in place by other people to keep us divided, keep us squabbling with each other. And people have to understand there's been a series of steps that have brought us to this point. In this culture, there's this all or nothing kind of mentality. You know, I'm an anarchist, therefore I want total anarchy. We've got to crash the system today and we can all be free. It won't work that way because a lot of people aren't ready for self-governance. We have so many people that are awake now. We really do. And if we could get coordinated, we could make a difference. So we've got to stop judging each other. We've got to put things into action now, folks. We've got to stand up and call a spade a spade. We really do. There's mechanisms in this system that we can use against itself. It's a double-edged sword. You know, I'm all for bringing the system down. I believe the whole legal system is crap. It's tripe. It's fiction. But still, there are elements in it we can use simply because the people out there who are sleeping need to be spoken to in a language they understand. And these are the people we need to meet, we need to reach. Now, everything that we're seeing on the planet today, everything these politicians are doing, if you really want to get down to it, it's abuse of office. A lot of it. There are no leaders on this planet. We've got to get this idea of authority out of our heads. What these politicians are doing is they're using the power that we give them by the office that they hold to create or to abuse their power, to create powers that they don't have. This is all abuse of office. And everything that we're facing on this planet, folks, is a humanitarian crisis. You know, the environment, all the damage we're doing to the environment, this is what supports life. This is a humanitarian crisis. All these things are humanitarian issues. The fact that you've got homeless people, the fact that you've got people, rough sleepers out in the street, this is humanitarian. All of this, it's all humanitarian issues, but we whitewash it, we look at it as political issues, as economic issues, social issues. They're humanitarian issues. All of them are humanitarian issues. Problem is that we always put economy at the top of the food chain when really humanity needs to be at the top of the food chain. No one else can see the world through these eyes, no matter how flawed this vehicle is, no matter how flawed my emotional state is, no matter how inconsequential I feel. I am perfect at experiencing life from the perspective of Max Egan. No one else can do that, ever. And it isn't whether you're good or bad or fat or short or good looking or bad looking or this or that. It's about what you do with it, what you do with the information. What is your relationship with people? What is your relationship with the planet? That's what it's about. It's about creative potential. You know, we're here to experience humanity to its greatest potential, and we have the potential to be absolutely incredible. Can you imagine it if we all could see this perfection in ourselves and respected ourselves that much? Because when you see that, get that perfection, you go, wow. Suddenly, you see it in everybody. It's the same. There's no one better than anybody else. There's no one with any more value than anybody else. We all have value, but we've been taught that we don't. We've been taught to look for leaders and look for gurus, and someone's going to find a way out of this. Someone's going to lead me to safety. I'll just follow, please. I'm reading it in the newsletters. Yes, we're winning, but I'm not participating. You've got to participate, folks. You've got to participate. You've got to be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to speak your truth, and don't think anybody has authority over you. Don't think anybody has any power over you. You know, but don't attack people. You know, you don't go to the politicians and scream and rant and rave and protest and all this stuff. You just ask them, show cause. Show cause where you shouldn't be held in abusive office for blah, 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 blah. Please show me. You know, and when you've got the whole community doing it, they go, oh my God. A lot of it is because of the business model, because of the economic model. We're always competing with each other. We've got this fear going on, like drip, drip, drip in the back of your mind, always there, no matter how connected you are. Got to pay the bills. Oh God, do I look like this? Oh, am I fat enough? Am I thin enough? Am I that? Does she like me? All this stuff going on. It's in people's minds all the time. You know, little inadequacies, which are parameters that are given to us by other people. It happens so much. It really does. That's the society that we're in. So what we've got to do is find a way of breaking down these barriers and find a way of linking things up. And all of the different movements, you know, the chemtrails people and the fracking people and the this people and the that people, we want to bring all this together because these are all the same issue. These are all symptoms of the same problem. Now, like I said, be it Fukushima, be it homelessness, be it starvation, it doesn't matter what it is. It's all part of the same problem. You know, we're just not dealing with it from the correct perspective. We're hacking at the branches, but we're not striking at the root. We've got to strike at the root. That's got to come from us. It's all got to come from us. You know, we've got to change our perspective of what we are, folks, change the perspective of what the nation is. And then we can get to a point where we don't need nations, you know, because all of this is fiction anyway. But there is enough stuff in the fiction that we can use to get ourselves out of this. We're really limited in our potential because of what we believe we are capable of. But if we can create matter by observing it, and we can create this whole mess, which is a product of our imagination, the whole thing. We live in a paper-based reality, folks. A paper-based reality. And we're getting away with, because, we can't do anything. It's law. It says on the piece of paper. It says on the piece of paper that I can't do anything. I've got to let this happen because there's nothing I can do about it. It's all abuse of office. The alternate media needs to provide a safety net for people who are waking up to the reality of the situation, and you need to be providing pathways to solutions. I don't know what all the solutions are. I'd like to. I've been trying, but I can't do it without your help. We all need to link up our minds together and do this together, because everybody's got a piece of the puzzle. Everybody has value. Everybody has something valid to offer. We really do. We can't shout each other down. We can't have our movements. We need to link everything together, folks. We really do, because otherwise this is what we're going to get, stuff like this. Never before in history has the system been laid so bare. We've got the internet. We've got communication right around the planet. Never before in history has everything been laid so bare, and have we had the ability to unite this planet in one global shift in consciousness. This is it. This is the most important time ever. Every problem is an opportunity, and this is a huge opportunity for us to address this corruption, because the corruption is obvious now. It's not a theory anymore. Yeah, there's a conspiracy. There's people behind closed doors doing very bad things, and everybody's suffering because of it. So, folks, that's the path we're on. That's the legal system that we've got, but there are elements within it. But we've got to have a strong communal response. So what you've got to do is find ways of breaking down the barriers in your community. This is the greatest opportunity in human history. All we have to do is stand up and participate. That's all we have to do, folks. Align your focus with the solution, not the problem. The key to saving yourself from this heartless transhuman world is right in your face. But that's it, folks. You can be the change. You are the change. That's what you're here for. That's what this time in history is, and that's why you all chose to participate. So please participate.
So that's from Anonymous Official. So if you want to go over and like to their channel, go subscribe to them, because they do some amazing work over there. So, hi everybody who still stayed on. Yeah. So yeah, the reason why I put that on first is because I listened to it the other day, and it clicked. It's stuff that we've been saying for the last few years. That there is only so many people awake, and to get through to the people who aren't yet awake, we actually need to put the effort in to actually teach them in a way that they're actually going to understand, educate them. I mean, going on the streets and shouting about cannibals or whatever, that's not going to encourage people to actually do the research and look into it. With that sort of topic, it's on the lines of mythology, where many people aren't going to believe it. Many people aren't going to listen to that. And it doesn't educate people. It kind of shuts them away and turns them away from the topics, which obviously we don't want to do. I mean, a lot of us wouldn't be here ourselves if it wasn't, if we didn't see it for ourselves, if we didn't wake up to it and we didn't educate for ourselves. I get what you're saying, Space Hopper. I mean, I've got great respect for Anonymous. I mean, that's why, I subscribe to the channel. That's why, I keep up with what they're saying. It was originally set up by, I think, 3 different people, and I have got huge respect for them, because, yeah, they are keyboard warriors. And I've said for years, we do need keyboard warriors out there. We do need people who could, because without the keyboard warriors, a lot of us would be shut down and we'd be censored by now. A lot of us have been censored already, because we don't have as many Anonymous out there as what we used to do. I know that there is more numbers, but they're not as connected with each other. Like, a lot of the campaigns aren't connected with each other. However, they are a lot more in sync with each other than we are, because they don't get involved, they don't bring personal stuff into it. It's clearly about what they do, what their aim is about, and about actually having justice in the society, actually having some form of justice for people. And there's many forms of different branches of Anonymous. Anonymous isn't a specific thing anymore. Back in the day when Anonymous, were first getting big, I believe it was Egypt, that the leader of Egypt actually cut off all the internet. And you can actually see it on the graphs where it just drops one day. and it was anonymous working with the locals of Egypt, with the citizens of Egypt, that actually helped them put things together in place to get the internet back up, to get, you know, their rights back, to take it back, you know, and they did that from all across the country. You know, none of the anonymous members who actually got the internet back up and running in Egypt were anywhere near Egypt. There was a couple in the UK, there were a couple in USA, you know, there were a couple dotted around from everywhere. So many have been cancelled from YouTube. Yeah, I 100% agree. That, you know, loads have been, and we're just waiting for our day. We're trying to be very, very careful with what we do. That's why, you know, our descriptions aren't very descriptive. That's why, you know, we're not on as regular as we'd like to be, because obviously we need to be careful of the censorship. Because Children Matter holds the faces of hundreds of thousands of kids, and it will do for as long as it exists. That's why we've got the website set up, so no matter what, you know, we could get on the website. Yeah, that's why we're on every platform. I know that we're on, I believe we're on VK and Twitter as well at the same time today. So I mean, if you want to come over and join us over on YouTube, that's not a problem. I'll be able to see your comments up on YouTube as the screen's up. I've purposely not even bothered with Facebook, because Facebook is dead. I know that there are many people that have been messaging me on Facebook. I cannot reply. I cannot reply to anything. I can't like anything, share anything, comment on anything, nothing. So I'm useless on that end. But Facebook's not really my first go-to thing anyway. Any of the other platforms, fucking go for it. But since my original account got shut down last year, Facebook's not really been that much of an interest to me. I know there's other Children Matter admin that deal more on Facebook, which isn't a problem. It means that we're still getting the messages out over there where it needs to be as well. And obviously people share it there. So there is loopholes. And that's one of the things that Anonymous used to always look for, was the loopholes. And when it came to not having so I'm debating whether to put the documentary on as well, but I don't think that'd be a good idea, because I believe it is a pretty long documentary, which actually goes into a bit about the Anonymous and a couple of people who started it, where they weren't allowed near computers or technology or anything for a while. But they have done a lot, you know, and their morals were straight. You know, if you're gonna break someone else's rights, if you're gonna hurt somebody, if you're gonna take rights away, you're gonna commit a crime, then you should be held accountable for it. As I was saying, there's many different sides to Anonymous, because I used to game all the time. I was a gamer. I first come into the side of Anonymous with obviously what they did with gaming sites, where they'd hunt down paedophiles or abusers online through their games or whatever, and well, they'd teach them a lesson. Didn't always necessarily agree with everything they did, how they necessarily always went about it, but they got their message across. And they didn't unjustly go after someone, and they made sure they had everything they needed to know before they even made the first move. Facebook is hell, and even Twitter is horrible now. Yeah, 100% space opera it is. And as much as these platforms have brought everyone together, we need to understand how far our limits go with social media. So if you use it in the right way, it can benefit you massively, as it has done with Children Matter over the years. If you abuse it, then you know you're going to get shut down relatively quick, and that's it. You're not really going to have much of a leg to stand on after that, because it's going to take you ages to get anywhere. Obviously, we're moving forward with the campaigns. You know, there is learning curves. You know, everyone has to learn. Everyone has to go through something, and everyone has to pull themselves back out of it. And it's about finding a way to do that. Whether it's going to the gym, whether it's finding someone to talk to that you relate to, whether it's just doing random stuff that actually makes you feel good or gives you just some bliss with everything that's going on, because there is a lot going on. I encourage as many people as possible to exercise their rights daily. Legislations and regulations they're just statutes of the law. They are not the law. And to claim that an act or a statute is the law is a fraudulent offence. It comes in handy to remind the coppers every once in a while that if they continue to say and to state and to act upon the fact that a legislation or an act is not the law, then they are committing a fraudulent offence. We start going after these corrupt officials, councillors, officers, whatever you want to call them, whatever they want to call themselves, the titles that they want to give themselves, without earning them, may I say. We start holding them personally account. Because too many of our kids too many of our siblings, our uncles, our aunties, our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents have been affected by what this state's doing to us. They have been slowly over the years taking our rights one by one, seeing how much they can get away with, how far they could go. They did it with me with forced adoption. They did it with hundreds of thousands of other people with forced adoption. They took our right to a family away. They took our right to a family life without social involvement away. They took our rights to a trial, to a court of oath, under oath. They took our rights to remedies. Took our rights to a private life. And in a lot of the cases with forced adoption, they took their rights to even give birth of their own accord, where they were forced into having C-sections to remove the child earlier, straight into adoption. And this happens daily. With what's going on with lockdown, it hasn't stopped anything. It's actually helped loads. The first lockdown, there were videos floating around where key workers were having social workers and police turn up at their door to take their children. There was one where the children were being taken back to the abusive ex because she was a key worker, therefore was putting her children at risk. So we need to remember with forced adoption, all they need is risk. Risk of future harm, risk of future neglect, risk of future abuse. They do not need proof. Now, forced adoption has been going on since 1934. Really think COVID's going to stop them from continuing it? Too many people have been turning a blind eye to the children and what they're going through. Not just in forced adoption, in trafficking, in grooming, in pedophilia. Too many children. Now, how long is it going to take? How many more children are going to have to lose their lives and their innocence before the country wake up? Because all that's been happening since 1934 is the adoption rate's been escalating. Every year, 1st of October, the adoption, what's it called? Target. The adoption target goes up. All we can do is speak out. All we can do is educate people. Because the more people we educate, the more people will open their eyes. We're in war now. It's only going to get really noticeable over the next few years. But by then, they will have taken so many rights that we will have no option but to revolt. This is why we need to wake up now. This is why we need to start educating people now. Because if we don't, our children are going to get caught up in this. Our children are already involved because this is a war for our children. This is what people need to understand. It's a war for our children. It's a war for their innocence. It's a war for their bodies. It's a war for their mind, and it's a war for the control over them. If you don't believe me, just look. Less and less jobs are made available. Before even lockdown came into place, factory government was bringing out technology which made a lot of jobs obsolete, which made a lot of people not be able to go out and fend for themselves. Vaccines are being forced down our throats left, right, and centre. You go to the doctors for a cold, and instead of them sending you home telling you to have warm drinks and keep warm for the rest of until you're better, they'll shove antibiotics down your throat. It's near enough the first option for many GPs is antibiotics. It came out last year. It was on the news. Actually, the more antibiotics you take and the more times you're on antibiotics, the more it kills your immune system off. I think about it, the human race wouldn't exist today if we needed vaccines, if we needed antibiotics. Yes, more people are alive today because of a lot of medicines. I'm not neglecting that in any way, shape, or form. The point being, too many people are being given what they don't need and told that they need it, fear-mongered into thinking they need it. Look at what's going on now. People are being fear-mongered into believing that they have to suffocate themselves to survive. But it's not true. If you go and have a look at any of the research whatsoever, you'll actually hear from doctors, from people who've understood it. If you look back through your primary and your high school science books, you will see for yourself that you have already learned this. You should not wear a mask unless you are contagious. If you are not contagious, you should not wear the mask. To wear a mask is to inhale more carbon monoxide, the carbon monoxide that your body is trying to exhale. They're trying to poison you with yourself. Children are all of a sudden coming up with impetigo because they're being forced to wear a mask and they're contagion bacterial impetigo. I've got a history of impetigo. I got impetigo when I was about 6 months old. Since my kids, luckily, I've not had it. But every year, once a year, I got it. And it's horrible. It's isolating and it is horrible. It's a horrible thing to suffer with and it's a horrible thing to have, especially when it's on your face. And the rate that impetigo has upped since all this lockdown because parents are forcing their children to muzzle themselves. Children don't understand. You tell them they need to wear something because they're going to die. They're never going to take it off. They're going to get so upset and they're going to break their hearts and think that you want to kill them for taking it off. Do not force them to wear it. The mental torture that it puts on your kids from muzzling yourself. The amount it disconnects you from people, not being able to be smiled at or to share your smile. No, the kids this generation, if they continue to wear these masks, they're not going to understand what joy looks like, what happiness looks like. They're not going to understand what a smile is. I always believe that social services were for the good of the children. I wanted to believe they were good people. I've educated myself over the last 7 months, and oh my God, my eyes have been opened to the corruption. It's massive. It's massive. And the extent of what they go through. This is why it's hard for people who aren't awake and who haven't looked to start looking, is because they don't come in one form. They come in many different forms. Think of them like any animal. You get different breeds of those animals. That's what social services are. They're just different breeds of monsters. C-19 has killed less people than the flu, yeah. If you look through it, you'll see. It's not hard for us to educate ourselves. Look at the beginning of this lockdown crap. When we did the digital demo, the amount of people that actually woke up to the digital demo. People actually came together and decided, fuck it, we will use technology to our advantage. And we did. Loads more people came together because of it, because people woke up. People saw what was actually going on. People saw that there are loads of us out there. And because we're all over the country, getting on one platform got us all together, no matter the circumstances, no matter the situation. I know what, I'd love to do it again. See if we can get even more people on than last time. Because with all this going on, there's so many different causes. There are so many different people, so many different victims. And they all need justice. It's not just one group or the other. We all need justice. Because the children are being targeted in every single way. Some of the children aren't being targeted till they're adults. Some of them aren't being targeted till they're elderly. Or till they've gone on to have their own kids or their own grandkids. Regardless, if we don't stop this from happening, what's going to stop it from happening to your families? To your families' families. This is what it's all about. I'm not going to be able to stop it from happening to my kids unless we all stand together for everything. We are all united. We are all doing this for the same reason. Beneath it all, beneath all the bullshit and the cosmetics that you put over it, beneath all the egos that have come up and fucking started showing their true colours, we all started this for a reason. We all started it for the same reason. Because our children deserve a country they can be safe in. A world that they can be safe in. Our children deserve a better life than what we had. So what I promised my kids when I first got pregnant with my son was that I would give them everything I didn't have. I'd give them everything I couldn't get. I'd be there for them when my parents weren't there for me. That's what I promised my kids. It's what every single one of my friends and my family promised their kids. Is a better life than what they had. Because isn't that what it's all about? Creating the best possible life for our kids and their kids. I mean, does anyone on here really want to be walking down the street in 20, 30 years, 40 years time? Walking, like, scared to walk to the corner shop, having to be tooled up just to go to a corner shop with our grandkids? With our great-grandkids? Do we really want that? Because that's the road we're going down. Well, unless we're prepared to either get arrested, battered, mugged, beaten or anything, walking to our streets, that's the way we're going. I don't want it to get to that point before anyone starts actually standing up and doing something about it. I don't want to be sat here for my kid's whole life, hoping that it'll change before they have to do this. Ideally, I don't want my kids to ever... I want my kids to see this, what's going on now, just in a history book. Just a memory from the past generation. I don't want my children living like this. Living locked up in their own homes. Having to be muzzled to go outside and not be harassed. It's a joke. Speaking of, there was a video that popped up earlier this morning that I would like to find and play. If I can figure out how to work Facebook. But I still haven't got a clue how to use it. Let's see if I can pause it before it fucking jumps up. Right, 1 second. Sorry, guys. Right. As good as I can get it. Yes, yeah.
Don't worry.
I'll take that. Order offence. You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your
David, don't system.
What are you trying to do? Oh, God, damn it. Fuck off. You're going to spray you. Get down.
David, don't let them spray you. David, don't let them spray you.
This is the country we live in now. Space Office just be a good fight. We were never asked about any of this. A little history lesson for people. This is what the Nazis did.
They arrested him for not walking fast enough after his dispersal order. Because he didn't really quickly done that. Thank you.
I'm a winner. Out of the road, please. Stop on the road. Need to be back, please. Move out the road. Please,
2 meters. 2 meters.
Just to point out quickly, you see these guys walking around a lot, these with the cameras. These people you do need to be careful of, because these people are the reason why the police have been turning up to people's homes after protests and picking them off one by one. This is just a way to get your face so they can match your name, and what they'll do is they'll continually add to those reports. With every single demo or anything that you turn up to with facial recognition catches you on, these document it. It's what these people are for. I've seen a lot of time on demos, people ignore these people. These are not. If anyone's going around with a mask who's got an actual camera as well, what I've started doing is standing right in front of them with my face covered, my head covered, and I'm filming them right in front of their camera. Even if it helps other people, it doesn't help yourself. If you've got nothing to lose, I'd go for it. Because these people here are going around and picking people off one by one from their homes when they're not prepared, when they've got no way of recording it, which is one of your basic human rights, to record for your own documentation.
And I'm going backwards.
See how he's moving in now?
And I'm going backwards.
Okay, go.
And I'm going backwards.
Move. Get going.
I've got a bad leg, I'll go slowly.
Okay,
I've
go.
got a bad back.
Keep moving.
I've got a bad leg.
Keep moving,
I'm
man. Thank
moving.
you. What's your fella, isn't it?
Yeah, my husband. They've arrested him for, I don't know, not moving quickly enough, I don't think.
Hey, yourself.
It's already getting worse. See, I think I've screenshot, not screenshot, I think I've paused a few things. Right, let me see if I can get the rest of it up. See if I can find any of the other ones, because I did save a couple of them. Because this has been getting worse. This has been getting better. And it's just going to continue to get worse until people actually start exercising their rights. Yes, they are going to take you away. Yes, they are going to try and, they are going to arrest you for that day. They will release you later on. That is what they're going to do, because it's fear. It's all about creating the fear. It's what it's all about. It's all they care about is creating the fear. Because if they can control you by fear, they can control you. There's an amazing guy up in, I believe it's Bristol. He's on he's called Aaron. It's Facebook's Harlequin Ford. He's been dealing a lot with the councillors and the police with trying to shut his shop down. And he's been shutting down his shop. I do apologise as well, by the way, for my broken speaking. So when I'm looking for stuff, it's hard to concentrate on both. See what I can find. Because there are quite a few. It has been happening quite a bit. Oh, what? I think I put it on my YouTube instead, for fuck's sake. Sorry about my language. But at least I've got a wait screen so you don't have to see if you can messing around with this. 100% they did start this. People are just exercising their rights, that's it. That's all they've done. But the police don't seem to know their oath. Actually, there is one that I want to put up. I want to actually show you something that Tyrant Finder did earlier. Because Tyrant Finder, he's put a short clip together. But, yeah, so if you're not already subscribed to Tyrant Finder UK, please go over and subscribe to him. Because he does some amazing work. He does get all over the country. He's done a lot of stuff with Active. There's his thing there. I'll put a link in the comments as well for everyone. But yeah, he did put this together earlier.
Well, we forgot. Oh, your tripod. Your arm's going to ache by the end of today.
Take part in the event. Okay.
There is a party.
Finished. And obviously, an option that is open. An option that is open is important. Now, I've told you that you're making this decision of your own free will, but
Because I'm part of this anyway, I'm just stood here.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying as well.
No, I'm just
happy to
saying.
do it in public
If
space.
you become involved in this.
Oh, I'm not involved.
Yeah. No, that's
You're
fine.
making me involved by coming over to you.
Well,
I didn't want to be
I'm
involved. I'm just looking at this lovely cat.
So, what are you going to go on? Why have you come out this morning? Then?
Why have I chatting? Because the cat is on my lap.
Okay, so
Am I allowed to
there's more than 2 people here,
That's right.
which is breach of the regulations.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I don't know who the people are, so I'm just
That's
chatting.
fine.
Just
Okay,
looking at
but
that
I'm just
building.
explaining to you.
We're explaining to you, making it an informed choice, obviously, you know, as my sergeant explained.
Okay, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
But if you're making a
Yeah, but I understand your point, sir, and obviously, you know.
Okay, my guy, tell me that I'm part of this when I'm not.
No, I didn't say you were part of this. I said if you became involved.
Okay, so if I
in
then get arrested for stood here, just looking at the building, oh, lovely buildings these are, in a public space, then where's that go then?
I don't know, that'll be up to the court, won't it? But what I'm explaining
Okay,
to you
so
is that there is an offence.
So I'm not allowed to look at these buildings. I know. Well, you just said it's up to the courts, so that's already then a threatening of arrest.
I
Threatening of.
arrested you.
I know, but it's a threatening saying it's up to the courts. What, for me looking at a building?
Have I threatened to arrest you?
No, but you said about the courts. Then you're pre-tenting the courts.
You asked me a question, and you said if I did it.
Nothing.
Well, I don't know what you're involved in until I come speak to you, do I?
Thank you. So I'm not getting involved. I'm just saying that.
That's good.
And that's lovely.
And
We're
absolutely.
just giving you the information, as we said, so you can make an informed decision. Obviously, if you were to
Thank you very
obviously
much for letting me
differentiate from standing here and become involved.
Sorry?
Is that just information you want to know?
I can explain to you. Do you want me to explain to you? I'll explain to the camera. No problem at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Under the regulations at the moment. You don't talk to. You don't want me to. No, it's okay. Come and speak to me if you want to.
Don't talk to 1,500 people.
Now, do you want me to explain it? So I'm more than happy to explain it.
Explain away.
Okay, so what do you want me to explain?
Explain what you think that you're enforcing here today.
I'm not enforcing anything. I'm explaining to people
Okay.
that anybody who is coming to this event that has been planned today and becomes involved in it.
You're an event plan. Oh, wow.
Look, we're just going to go round in circles, aren't we?
You carry on.
No, that's fine. Come back to me when you want to speak.
I'm sorry.
No.
How would you determine if anyone is participating? How would you make that in your own judgment? Because for you to exercise that, you have to be.
I'm here to explain to people that that the coronavirus regulations.
A regulation?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not law.
They are law.
An act of parliament.
An act of parliament. An act. An act. So an act then, which is then we're governed by consent. So it only given the full force of law by the consent of the governed.
Sir, if that's your belief, sir, then
We're not
that's
looking
fine.
to
It's
change-
not a belief though.
Okay,
It's
we're not looking to change
it's a
anyone's
statutory
opinions.
fact,
We're trying
isn't
to
it? It's a
explain.
fact of life.
Okay, we're trying
And
to
I'm only
explain.
here
to you.
I'm trying to explain.
And
to
like
you
I said, I'm
whether
not
you
involved
accept
in this.
that
I'm
you have a different
documenting it to
view,
the world.
It's entirely up to you. However,
Just before I let that continue, I just wanted to point out, because obviously it's put in what the fuck are the blue suits. I just want to explain a bit about what these police officers are. These police officers are known as information gatherers, and that's what they do. They just gather information on you. I'll play a little video after this to educate you a bit on what blue suits are, but these are the coppers you do not want to trust at all. These ones, along with the flat caps. The flat caps are not real police officers, they're just police officers in costume. These ones, these are just information gatherers. That's it, that's all they are. I'll explain a bit about what they do. But these little fucktards, yeah, they're not worth the costume that they're in. They're really not, because all they do is gather information on you. And it's not information about what you're doing, it's not information about your cars, it's information about you. So they'll ask you questions like what your name is, how far you've travelled for that day. Have you come on your own? Have you come by train? Have you parked up anywhere near? What's the travel been like on the way up here? These are the sort of questions that they'll ask you. And as I said, after this, I'll play you a little video from them. Obviously, in the meantime, after this, make sure you go over and subscribe to Tyrant Finder UK, because his work is absolutely amazing. That's what he does, along with Active, and along with Nobby, and along with TW as well, and Bias Welshman, a couple other ones, Daddy Dragon and all that. They all do amazing work. So yeah, I'll let this continue and I'll shut up.
However, the regulations state that protest isn't one of the reasons that you can gather outside of your home address at the period of the lockdown.
Right.
Now, there is a protest plan for today. I don't know
Right.
whether you're involved in that or not. What I'm
Okay.
here to do is explain that it is an offence.
Yeah.
Encourage you that if you are going to take part in that protest, that you shouldn't, because you would be in breach of the regulations.
Okay.
And I'd encourage you, and I'd encourage you to go home.
Okay.
And I'll remind you that enforcement action is an option that is available.
Okay. Right.
So
Okay.
you make an informed
Okay.
decision as to
Okay.
whether you wish to take part in this event or not.
Okay. Okay.
Now, you're going to ask me and say, well, what?
I'm not going to ask you nothing.
what
Your
forms involvement?
assumption and assumption.
Well, you've
makes-
already asked me.
An assumption makes an ass out of you and me, doesn't it? So just wait for me to. What doesn't it?
You've already asked me. So I swore that I truly served the sovereign lady, the Queen, in the office of constable without favour, affection, malice, or ill will.
Take it.
Sorry.
No, shut up.
And I would, to the best of my power, cause the peace to be kept and preserved, and prevent all offences against the persons and properties of Her Majesty's subjects. And that while I continue to hold the said office, which I do,
Yep.
I will, to the best of my skill and knowledge, discharge all the duties thereof faithfully according to law. So I will uphold the law.
So
Now,
you will
whether
uphold the law. So you will uphold common law,
I'll-
the law that you took office to,
I will.
the law
uphold
of
common law,
injury,
I'll uphold
harm, and
statutes,
loss.
and whatever
Okay.
is on the statute books at the time, I will uphold.
Well, then anybody then that you come into contact with and they do not wish to stand under those statutes and acts, and you
That's their
take
choice.
hold of them and you try and impose
That is their
against
choice.
their free will,
I don't try
then
and
you
impose
become
anything.
liable as a human being.
I don't
Your
try and
office
impose
don't-
anything.
Your office doesn't protect you, does it? When you
What
try
do
and
you mean?
exercise someone's free will.
What do you mean?
Well, you don't understand what your oath
No, I do.
really meant.
I do.
So you think here
So I
today,
will
breaking
uphold
up
common
people.
law, but I will,
So do you
no,
think
I'm
today,
explaining to people at the moment,
breaking up people who's peacefully gathering, that they're not committing any criminal offences?
well, that's your view, but I'm
It's
telling
not my
you,
view.
and I'm explaining
it's the
to you
view
that there
of
is a criminal
thousands.
offence. Well, that's an opinion that lots of people have got. I am telling you, that under the regulations, it is an offence
Yep.
to be involved in a protest. And
That's
there's
your
been a lot-
opinion.
There's been a lot of
That's your
publicity.
opinion.
That's the law.
It's not the law,
But
though,
if you
is
don't
it?
recognise the law, that's your choice.
It's not the law. I recognise common law, injury, harm and loss, the law
Yep.
of the land.
Good for you.
Okay, so as long as I don't step outside that, covers every aspect in my whole life.
But there are statutes, aren't there, that are in place which have powers which we are here to uphold.
Yeah,
Now, whether
which
you recognise them or
are
not
given
is
the full
entirely-
force of the law,
which is
which are
entirely up to
given
you.
the full force of the law by the consent of the governed. Okay, we
you don't
are
consent.
sovereign people.
You don't consent. I understand that, and that is your choice. Okay?
I'm not saying that I don't consent. I'm saying that's fact. That's what it is.
But that's your choice. If you don't wish to
You have a
recognise
choice as
that-
well as a human being, don't
I
you?
do, yeah.
Yeah, you do. Why don't you take that choice? Because you must
Yeah.
know that what
I'm
you're
doing my
doing
job.
is completely and utterly stupid. You got to admit that, haven't you? Come on, admit it. Stand with us. Do you know about those? Do you see about those
We're going around
police
in
officers?
circles,
We're not.
aren't we?
Do you see
There's a
about
lot
those
of
police
people here
officers?
who I can explain to,
Those
'cause
police
obviously it's not
officers
gonna-
up in Italy who's actually took their
I'm not
helmets
in
off.
Italy, I'm in the UK.
We're in the UK. Well, we need people.
I
We
get
need.
that 'cause there's two cameras looking at me.
We need police to stand with us. We need you. It's going to take you to take off that helmet and stand with the
What I'm
people.
going
What do you want
to
me to do?
Stand with us. Stand for what's
do is I'm
right.
going to go back to
do my
where he's
job.
reading out his
No, I
oath.
want you to stand in your
Just
head.
break it down for you, shall we?
Wait for me to.
Truly serve the sovereign lady, the Queen, in the office of constable with.
I went too far.
So I swore that I truly served the sovereign lady, the Queen, in the office of constable without favour, affection, malice, or ill will. Sorry.
No, shut up.
And I would, to the best of my power, cause the peace to be kept and preserved, and prevent all offences against the persons and properties of Her Majesty's subjects.
See how it says Her Majesty's subjects. That's us. That's the public. So his oath, what he's reading out there, is to protect and serve the public, Queen's. Well, yeah, the Queen's subjects. That's us, because we give her the power to act upon his job without malice or ill. Let me go back. It's all just a massive hypocrisy. is just a
wait
massive
for me to. Well,
Well,
doesn't
you've already asked me. So I swore that I truly served the sovereign lady, the Queen, in the office of constable without favour, affection, malice, or ill will.
Without favour, affection, malice, or ill will. But what they continued to do at that demo, where every single person who grabbed hold of the microphone, they pinched. That wasn't what he's just stated there that he does, especially when it's under the Queen's subjects.
Sorry.
No, shut up.
And I would, to the best of my power, cause the peace to be kept and preserved, and prevent all
Peace to be preserved and kept.
offences against the persons and properties of Her Majesty's subjects. And that while I continue to hold the said office, which...
By the way, just to point out there where it says about the property, that does include your children. For any of the forced adoption out there, for any of the social services out there, that does include your children. Your children in the eyes of the law are your property because they are unique to you. No one owns your children. No one has rights to your children over you. The blood you share with your child gives you that. The fact that you gave birth to your child is uniquely special to you. So property does include your children. So when the police do come to your house to take your children at the same time, ask them to repeat their oath. Remind them of what property is. If you need to, make sure you've got the definitions of words printed out. Because these people are not educated. They are not. They are the most brainwashed people you will find. I mean, look. The most brainwashed person you could find.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, to the best of my skill and knowledge, discharge all the duties thereof faithfully according to law. So I will uphold the law.
So you will uphold the law. So you will uphold common law, the law that you took office to.
I will.
The law of injury, harm, and...
So yeah, as I said earlier, with regards to law, acts and statutes are not law. Legislations are not law. And to claim that they are part of the law is a fraudulent offence. We need to keep remembering this. So I'm just going through this because there is quite a lot of them. Sorry, guys. Yeah, there is just quite a lot to go through. There's another one where Truth Junkyard News. I'll put it up, but I am going to put it up muted though. Actually, no, there's no point putting it up muted because otherwise you won't hear it. It does jump around a bit much. Sorry, guys, bear with me. So I'm getting distracted by comments now. Sorry, guys. Bear with me a minute. I've been trying to keep an eye on that many different stuff. It's an absolute nightmare. As we've got a couple of people over on the Katie-Jayne Swallow channel. If you want to jump over to Children Matter, I'll be able to see comments as well. Because unfortunately, I've not got that one pulled up at the minute. Just trying to find where I bloody put everything. It's a nightmare trying to keep up with everything. Plus, I've not been on for a while as well, so I have to apologise. And thank everyone as well, because we actually got up to 2K on YouTube. So massive, massive, massive thank you to you all for that. Because I wouldn't have got here without you. Let's see. The amount of stuff that there is, it's just unbelievable. I've just got to find where I've put everything. Loads of videos have been deleted as well. Oh, sorry, guys. Try to find everything. It's a bloody nightmare. Obviously, a lot of people know about what's been happening with the protests and everything lately. With London, with Liverpool, with everything. I see a couple of comments earlier about Daddy Dragon in Liverpool and handing out the notice. 100% fucking right on. He's got my support. 100%. Everything he does is amazing, and he does educate people massively as well. Thanks to him and TW, officially got me it's called press pass sorted. So as soon as that arrives, we'll be laughing, and hopefully we'll have a couple more of Children Matter joining in as well. and getting their press passes sorted, because it will help out massively with what we're doing. Try to find where everything is. This is the problem with having too many platforms and videos on every single one. Oh, dear me. Sorry guys, again, just trying to find everything. It's an absolute nightmare. There's been quite a lot going on as well, so there's that many stuff everywhere, trying to find the right stuff with the right things. It's just, yeah, it's a nightmare. But I know a couple of people did get arrested down in, I think it was Bristol. I believe it was Bristol. That's what I can do. As soon as we've been looking on Tyrants anyway, I'll play one of Tyrants ones in the background for a minute, because I can find the right one at the right place, that is, anyway. Because he did do some amazing stuff, some amazing videos. That's why it is definitely worth going over and joining to and subscribing to Tyrant Finder UK. Because he has been covering a hell of a lot of them. There's one 7 months ago arrested for being sat on a park bench. Yeah, I've not seen this one, but I am going to put it on. I think. Let me just double check first before I go ahead and actually do that, because everything that's going on just shows the extent of everything of what we're living in at the minute. Because it's just, yeah. 5 years ago, you'd have never have thought it to be this fucking bad. So before we do, I'll put on one from Remembrance Day, because I think what happened on Remembrance Day is very poignant as well. So let me figure out what the hell I'm doing on my screen. Right. So yeah, this is also on Tyrant Finder. This is why you need to go over there, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, give him a look at the work he does. So this was 10th of November, so it was on Remembrance Day. So everyone joined together. A couple of people come from all over the country. This is what we should be doing. I know I've not got sound on, so I do apologise. Redfield Phil, I've not managed to check up on his videos yet, but I have seen it all popping up on my screen, so I have got it on my watch list ready to watch. But obviously, with the COVID itself, this was already, you know, they'd already minimised it as much as they could. I don't know if you can see right behind them, over here in the back corner, just behind everyone, you can see the yellow tape everywhere. I think that's actually coppers. I think they are actually police officers back there. If it is, then they're already preparing to kettle in. Try and keep my mouse off the screen, sorry. We are living in a dictatorship, Graham, 100% we are. Morning, Kenton, I hope you're well. You're welcome to come on and join me if you want, Kenton. Just give me a shout and I'll send you a link. You see, everyone's being peaceful, everyone's there for a reason. They're not there for anything other than Remembrance Day, other than remembering the fallen. You see TW there with Dave. Massive shout out to TW. Make sure you go over and like TW's channel as well and give her a massive shout out. Look at that, Children Matter logos floating around in London as well. Make sure you go over to Patriotic Crusader and give him a thumbs up and a shout. Let him know that you've seen his Children Matter hoodie in the videos. Massive thank you to the support that everyone gives us as well. This should have been a really peaceful turnout. This should have been a really peaceful day. What happened here was out of order massively. To remember our fallen soldiers, our fallen heroes, and the families that had them taken away from them. My dad's a serving soldier. My brother's with the RAF. I grew up with the army. This could quite easily have been, my dad in a few years' time. I want to be able to remember the service my dad gave, the service my brother gave, the service the rest of our family give, that are still serving in the army. If the worst happened with my best friend who's in the army, the police did this on this day to these people. Everyone keeping the peace as best as possible there. Everyone is there just for the reason of. Let's have a look.
Is standing up for your rights as a human being. That's what we're doing. We have a right to march and pay respect to our war dead.
You also have a right.
What does cenotaph mean? Empty tomb. We have a right to go down to that cenotaph and lay our wreaths and respect our fallen. Like I pay each and every one of the members of the armed forces that have served this country here today.
See the police moving in there.
We are having our rights abused. We need to get to that cenotaph and lay our wreaths and pay our respect like we do on this day every year. There's no difference. We are human beings. It's about time we actually stood up and done this as one. Because if we go as one, they cannot stop us. We need to do this, people. And we need to make this stand now.
Yes. By the left centre, quick march.
Gotta love what Simon said there. What Simon said was spot on. Absolutely massively spot on. And this is a point we need to come to. If you see the crowd losing its motivation because of the police moving in, you need to take your voice and use it. You were given a voice for a reason. If you weren't meant to use it, you wouldn't have a voice. Now it's up to us what we do with our voice. Massive, massive respect for everyone who did something for Remembrance Day. No matter where you were, massive respect for what you did. We cannot let these Nazis stop us from exercising our rights, stop us from being humans and remembering our fallen, remembering the people who gave down their lives for the rights that these monsters are trying to take away. I'm going to put the sound back on actually because I think this is a very poignant moment where the sound needs to be on.
We are one. We are peaceful.
Can't you let the veterans in? Can't you let
He turned it off. Never mind. Let's see. I put the screen back up, guys. Sorry about that. Right, let's see if I got the rest of it because there was another part to that I wanted to show. But yeah, massive love to Tarot Finder. But this is happening more and more. This is happening everywhere. Let me see what I can find because I can't remember where I've put everything. Yeah, a red pill fill I think I can put on someone. Let me get the share button up. Make sure you go over, like and share Red Pill Phil's content. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Links coming up in the description now. And I'm going to try and catch up with myself. Right, so this is the video that Red Pill Phil put up yesterday. Make sure you go over and like and subscribe to his channel. And yeah, this is one of the videos that he did for lockdown yesterday. So this was down in Liverpool. Obviously, this is why it's important that we need to get down to these places. We need to get everywhere that we can do. I know I've not been getting out as much as I'm hoping to, but obviously I've been trying to make sure that Children Matter is official and secure, and make sure that all these trolls that are coming out left, right and centre trying to cause trouble don't actually have a leg to stand on legally
I'm not a professional by
and
any means,
lawfully.
but that looks low. Well, police. No praying today. We're filming. We're filming me. I've been watching.
With the amount of police you see at these peaceful protests, you'd think that they'd actually have. You think there'd be no crimes out there, but there's crimes every day, multiple times a
There's a
day.
lot of aircraft proper doing the rounds. And that's well low. That is well low. And he's doing all kinds of mad manoeuvres. And there's so many dibble here, and none of them are fucking paying attention to that thing. Mad, look, he's doing crazy turns. What the fuck is he doing? He's looping the loop.
Make sure you go over and like Red Pill Phil. I'm going to put his name up as well.
Some crazy shit. Don't know about some of that back of the van. He's definitely looping him. Is that George Soros or what?
Graham, you're welcome to come on. Just let me know. If you guys want to come on, guys, just give me a shout and I'll bring you on.
This is it. Locking down.
I'm going to give Red Pill Phil a ring in a bit as well and see if he fancies coming on at some point and having a chat about this. I believe that's Daddy Dragon there.
Let me see if I can grab him. Yeah. Excuse me, mate. Can I ask your name?
Yeah, Gazer.
Yeah. Can I do a little 5-minute interview with you?
What you can, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, film me. That's free press for you, isn't it?
Right, mate.
We'll come down here when it's not.
Let me clear the air first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put that on now.
I was giving you a heads up there. I was helping you there.
No, you weren't. I was asking you not to. I asked.
I won't put that one on. Hello, the lodge. I'll get you 2 comments in a second. Bear with me. Let me just get this other one up. What has happened?
Yeah. Can I do a little 5-minute?
One second. My computer's not wanting to play ball with me at the minute. So bear with me. So which one was it I wanted up? Part 3, I believe it was. Where is it? Let's start of part 3 on. No, okay. That's up. Right. Okay. I'm coming back on. No.
Yes, people. Sorry, there's been a light.
Should you go over? Give it a big thumbs up.
Very low since I've been here. I'm at Liverpool Lime Street Station. I'm just about to get the train back. I think whatever was organised has certainly run its course here in Liverpool. The authorities, the police, closed it down as soon as it started. Well, before it had actually started. Let's get it right. Yes. Yes. Sweet.
Look at that. Well, that's what we like to see.
Right then. You all right, buddy? You know what, right, guys? I'll tell you. I've just been sat on them steps, right? I was filming me goodbye video because I'd just been fucked off from up there. And people were saying there was different meeting points.
Sent
because I'd exhausted
Tyrant Finder a message as well, see if he wants to come on.
to the police in the area I was. I thought it was just a good idea to get out of there. And I just recorded a video and I was just about to shut it down and start uploading it to YouTube because for some reason I can't live stream and we all kind of know why. That I just heard some noises, freedom, freedom. And then all these just fucking saying up, yes, yes. I've got to get up there. Look at this.
Look at that.
Liverpool.
So that is what we like to see.
Oh look, police are here.
Thai free speech. Nice to see you here.
This has posed a bit of a problem for them now, innit? God's sake, where's this gonna go now? They're all getting up there. Straight on here. Look at this.
Definitely got to get over to Red Pill Phil's channel and give him a big share for this because look at the filming quality there.
Yes, Red Pill Phil here in Liverpool.
This is what we need, more and more like this.
Fucking hell. Yes. Yes. You can stick your frigging live stream up your ass. You can stick your frigging live stream up your ass. You can stick your frigging live stream and all its bloody glitches. Stick your frigging live stream up your ass. Police, we love you. Someone's got to, hasn't they, mate?
Got to. Human, thing.
I think. You all right, buddy? Mate, you all right?
Not like these Manchester Evening News.
Oh, mate, don't worry, I'll do what I can.
Hang on, there's only 600 here.
I know. What liars, eh?
Yeah.
You all right, buddy?
We're moving.
You know, no cuffs on you yet. Look at
I
this.
have not committed a crime. Freedom of travel, innit?
Mate, we're human beings.
Yeah. Sovereign.
Look at this.
We are flying the truth.
Fucking hell. Yes. People power. People freaking goddamn power. Man, Oh, man. You know what? I was literally 2 minutes away from jumping in the train station and going home. Fucking hell. Oh, man. Rest in peace. And you know what, guys? In this poignant, because all these Reeves here, yeah, why did they lose their lives? For freedom. For freedom. For fucking freedom. Go on, lads. Freedom! Yes! Got his dog bowl and everything. Fucking hell. Sorry, guys. Pardon the French. But, man, Liverpool, you're warming my heart. You're warming my heart. This is amazing. Yes. You're right. We're all on camera as well. Oh, shit. We'll all be getting pulled out of our houses, won't we? Who gives a fuck? We don't consent. I'll sit down. Yes. Look at this. So, your Liverpool, you took it to another level. You've took it to another level. Yes. A mass sitting, a mass sit out. These on one side, these on t'other. And they're thinking, what the fuck are we going to do here now? See, this is how easy it is. But I know it's not going to probably end well. They're allowing it for now.
I feel so contained. I feel slightly contained.
Good old scout sense of humour's having it. Yes. Yes, mate. Yes. Yeah, fucking right it will. Fucking hell. Yeah. My God.
He gets everywhere. Massive respect to him. He's only everywhere with his dog.
Tell me why you're wearing that gold star, mate.
Well, because listen, in the Star of David, we are now the persecuted. Like the Jews in the Second World War, we were persecuted by the Gestapo. Today, we find ourselves in a similar situation. Being English, we are persecuted and we are terrorized by a senior type of Gestapo that goes under the guise of the police. The police do not act in this way. The enforcement officers and the political forces are the rest of the
Wow. 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 Wow.
Massive respect to the people of Liverpool. This is what we need to start seeing everywhere, all over. Terrence, I always forget his name.
Amazing. More reinforcements are coming now. Look. So it's probably better to get on the other side of the ring, as it were.
Because the way they're moving in, slowly keep moving in.
You're all right with that.
Kevin, are you coming on as well? Because once I've played this bit, I'm going to be letting Grim in. It's just because my WhatsApp's on that share screen, so I pull my WhatsApp up to send the share link. It'll, bring up people's numbers, which I don't want to be doing.
She's got a point.
This is what we need to see everywhere. Standing up for our rights, standing up for our children, standing up for our country.
I think I've left my gloves on the step as well. So I'm down a pair of gloves. You know what? The best 16 quid I've spent.
Anyone wants to take an extra pair of gloves around for Red Pill Phil on the next demo, I'm sure we'd appreciate it.
Line Street Station, the Red Pill Phils. You can have them. Not full of Corona. Look at that. Masses. Don't know where the destination is.
Join these marches, join these demos, even if it's just to observe. Record them. You might open your eyes to it and playing it back, rewatching it. Exercise. Get out, get in the sun. Start getting healthy again.
Loads. Like that gentleman said, what are they going to say? 600 people gathered up in Liverpool?
They're going to
600?
Knowing the police's tactics, they're going to try and split them soon.
Support is waning for the anti-lockdown demo. Totally just reframe the narrative in front of everyone's faces.
This is why we all need to record them. We've got a right to record. We've got a right to record for our own information, for our own knowledge.
All walks of life, this.
You have a right to record anywhere from public and in public.
I don't know where we're going though.
You have a right to keep your name, which is unique to you. The most personal question anyone can ask you is your name. Do not give the authorities your name as the biggest form of consent. If anyone's got ways of disguising their backpacks with their megaphones in it, it might be an idea. One of the things I was watching from Bristol yesterday was the fact that literally anyone who grabbed hold of the microphone or the megaphone got taken straight down. Look at the people. When we've got this numbers, as long as we can keep it together, we need to start linking up. You notice when the police need to keep their line and they keep their line tight, they'll link arms with one another. They'll create two rings around, all linked up, all arm to arm. Second ring in, keeping them steady, keeping them firm so they can't be pushed in. We need to start adopting the same tactics. I agree with you, Grim, 100%.
Oh, that's my mate from last week.
Isn't that just a powerful motivating just to see the amount of people there? We all need to be doing this in every town, in every part of the country. We need to be doing this. Every country needs to be doing this.
On in the vehicles. I mean, even they must think this is fucking daft. You've got to think that. I mean,
it shows how brainwashed they are.
You're doing your job. You've got to have an opinion. Let's say.
It shows how brainwashed they are and that they've got something to hide.
If he's just beat, he's getting sacked Monday morning. Yes. Yes. More beeping. Yes. People are on it.
This is what we need to see
People are on
everywhere.
it.
Look at the uniter. This is what it was like in Nottingham. This is what the veterans managed to bring together in Nottingham. We need to start doing this for all the causes
No
united.
police.
Freedom for us and our children. Freedom for our country. In my lifetime, there's never been this many people awake at
Walk
once.
around Liverpool. And
I
that
agree with you there,
plane,
Kenton Fear.
Is that recon plane or something? It just keeps circling. No one's talking about it.
I'm up for that, Brett.
A light aircraft for the past hour that's just been circling very low in the vicinity. I don't know any aircraft that's allowed that low in the town centre. And I made that point to 2 horseback policemen, and they kind of got fuck all to say about it. Probably nothing. But why is he circling?
We need to use our knowledge to wake up others.
Intel.
Morning, John.
Public.
Well, afternoon.
Massive. Loads.
This is what we need
Wow,
everywhere.
Still going. Still going. It's like an S right at the top there. I can still see it.
Gotta love how observant Red Pill Phil is out as well. No worries, I'll send the link over to both of you in a second.
Let's see what the media says about this. This is the North kicking back. First Manchester, now Liverpool. Oh, look. Isn't that funny? The North.
So guys, I'm just going to put the screen overlay on for a second because I said WhatsApp's on that screen, so if I can get it over, that's a bit better. So guys, we'll get back to it now. If they should go through it, please put speakers corner again.
Yes. More horns. More horns. Stop! Change your plan. Change your plan. Change your plan.
Apparently, there are 27 arrests made. Hi, Graham. You're in.
Yeah, I'm all good. Thank you, hon.
Not too bad.
Good job. Singling people out.
Helen's just sent me a message there about the instances yesterday. Yeah, it looks like police are in speakers corner as well. Sorry, I'm just doing a million things on the screen at once at the minute.
Fucking hell. Isn't this ironic? Look up there. It's like fucking symbology everywhere I look. You see that? Liberty living. Liberty living. God's sake, first I see a street sign that said the North, and then I see, I don't know, might be just me.
That's why I said, police arrested someone out of their car in part 2. It's not a good thing to do. What is it? Indian another tactic, keep moving, they can't be kettled too. But what they do when you're moving is they actually split you up. So they'll dart straight down the middle of a group of you, divert the rest of you off somewhere else, so there's only a small group of you moving forward in that way. They did it in Nottingham. They've done it in, to be fair, most demos that I've been to where they've cut it off, where they'll actually start splitting the demo off bit by bit. So
Yeah, I've seen that in London.
Yeah, they do all the time. You see police moving down the side over here. See them slowly moving. They'll be getting ready to get up the numbers there and then just dart straight across to cut them off.
It's usually random people the target as well.
Yeah. Well, they're not just random. Like at the minute, they've been going for anyone who picks up a megaphone, anyone who speaks on a megaphone. Saw it yesterday in one of Tyrant's videos where a guy spoke on a megaphone, and not even 5 minutes later, the police are rushing through and arresting him.
It's terrible that it's coming to there.
That is 100%.
But this is why it makes it more important for us all to stand up and be heard, and to get out on the streets and to do these things.
Agreed. So as long as you don't implement yourself or incriminate yourself, then there's nothing really can do. All they can do is pick you up, move you off the street, and attempt to give you a fine, which isn't lawful. And as long as you don't open a contract to them, there isn't really much that they can actually do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just more making it harder for you to go about your business. Possibly not.
Going on.
So I just said they didn't seem to do it yesterday at Liverpool once they marched. I mean, I think the fact that it literally just exploded out of nowhere with the amount of people massively threw them off. But next time they'll be more prepared.
The crowd won't stop until the break of dawn. Oh, on and on.
Got all the Redfield Phil singing.
Yes. We're in Liverpool. Come on.
Power to the people. I'm proud of everyone for that.
100%.
Freedom. Remember when we used to have it? These people want it back.
So we need everywhere.
Still going.
It's funny though, because you don't see none of this on the mainstream media unless it's negative and painting a bad picture of us.
About 600 people.
Agreed. I agree with your free speech. When it comes down to numbers, if we've got the numbers, the police massively struggle. This is what we all need to be doing everywhere. Brett says his DJ's better than he sings.
Still going on.
Have a Redfield Phil a message, see if he wants to come and join us.
Yes. That's some numbers that.
Yeah. So I love Redfield Phil's work. I think it's fucking legend.
He's done very well with that filming. To keep it that steady as well.
Now, there is part 4 as well. And the final part. But I'm not too sure. Everyone in the comments will have to let me know if they want me to put that up or not. because he's absolutely like I do love his work. He does do some amazing work with what he does, and he does get everywhere he can do.
That's what we need.
Yeah, we do. I will
Yeah,
take him in a bit, but not right now.
yeah.
Tell you what, that's what I wanted to do. Fucking Speaker's Corner, because Speaker's Corner's currently fucking got police there and everything as well.
What, right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, get that up. I'll have a look. Couldn't really got us on the telly as well. I ain't got it no volume though. Don't want it to disrupt this.
Let's have a look. I'm gonna have to put it on big screen because the comments are coming through and everything as well. I want to get the share button up so that we can put it out. I will figure out. It's hard doing all this on one-sided. What the hell are they doing? Let's unmute it so we can have a listen. So Trace can inform us of the news of what's currently going on.
Remanded as stupid COVID.
And I'll put all this in the description. So if you want the links for any of the channels that have been played, then please get over and subscribe to them.
Yeah, they did do that to you. That's what I said. They did it with the Doncaster one. Being paid to do a job, at least if you do it properly. What's he charging over there for? Look. Where's he going?
It's literally just like watching that. This is what I imagine watching Nazis fucking walk around and be like.
It is. It's a dictatorship in this country, and it's been like it now for a while, but it's been pushed even more ever since this COVID.
Yeah.
Get more blue tape put around the chair so you can't sit on them. They've put the tables upside down on each table so you can't sit down. Yeah, it does look like a crime scene. It's a crime to sit down.
Links are in the description as well, so if anyone wants to refresh, links are in there.
Look, it looks like a crime scene around that cafe.
Yeah, I agree that it was kept on. It was. They've been doing this for a while. They've been doing this slowly and slowly, and it's just come down to a point where now they want to take our rights to be outside away from us as well.
Oh yeah, well they've took everything else. They took our freedom of speech away a long time ago. Now we're having everything else up. Oh yeah, now we're having our freedom to be out and to do what we want now as well. We can't think what we want. We can't eat what we want. We can't do what we want. We can't see who we want.
2 coffees. Crime scene look.
Yeah. I wonder what that poor table did.
The table's under arrest.
Don't imagine that tape being cheap for them either. That they're just wasting. Taxpayers are paying for.
Exactly.
Just have a little whinge.
The stands, that bit there.
Oh, Rachel.
Over there, look.
Gonna state that freedom to sit down taken away from us. Just gonna remind people about a time in history where buses had seats taken away from them from people being allowed to sit down.
There's something on park near me in Leicester, Elston Park. There's these automated police robots now that scream at you and then ring the police.
I've just said that.
Big joke. I'm just making sure that I've got a banner up as well for TW. Because she's done some amazing work. She's been downed over a hell of a lot.
It keeps getting blown everywhere. There might have police down there still though.
Make sure everyone jumps over to TW and give her a like and a share. This is live now that we're watching.
Yeah, Dave just said we should come armed with some roses and a box of chocolates. Would Pure get arrested then?
Oh, God, yeah.
It's an offensive weapon. Oh, look at these.
Kenton's joined us as well. Hello, Kenton.
Well, hello.
How are you?
Frenchies. What the large Frenchies? That's a sausage dog. Dash out.
I'll take that a bit. Yeah, this is live at Speaker's Corner currently. I'm saying like how the police have turned into proper Nazis, with lack of a better word, or lack of a more accurate word.
That's what they are, though. That's what they're acting like.
Can't hear you, Kenton. I can see you speaking, but I can't hear you.
One sec.
There you are.
Mic's on.
Yeah, you can hear now.
Can you hear me now? I'll just take my hand off the microphone. That'd be a good idea.
Usually helps.
Right. It's not just the police either, is it? It's all these little COVID-19 enforcers outside these shops as well now. They all think they've got some kind of authority over people. Which is becoming a little bit well, it's going to cause scraps at some stage. People are going to just say fuck yourself and take your COVID-19 little marshal badge and go do one, mate, because it's everywhere you go.
What will happen to them when COVID's over with?
You have to say it again, Grim. There's a bit of an echo.
Sorry, don't it make you think what will happen to these COVID marshals after it ends at some point when it ends?
Well, they're putting too much faith in the system, aren't they, to protect them and keep them safe?
Not exactly. Well, yeah.
They're putting too much faith in their unwarranted ability to be dickheads at the moment. They think that this COVID that doesn't exist bullshit is their authority to be some kind of little Nazis now. Doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah, you're all.
So true, but people don't understand what their rights are and what the law, what the actual law is. I mean, all they can do is fearmonger us at the minute, and try and manipulate control through fear by picking us off one by one, by threatening us with arrest, by this, that, and the other. They've got it planned. Yeah. It's just piss take. It pisses me off.
Yeah, it's getting bad everywhere. I've seen the videos you've been putting out this morning. I've seen most of those videos. There's quite a few. It's not just there, is it? Down in Bristol, Joe Drayson was down there and a few of the team. People arrested there, quite violently arrested as well. 5 or 6 coppers jumping on them again.
Yeah, I was watching that one because Tyrant Finder was filming it as well. It was one of the ones that I was playing before. See if I can find the video I was looking at before, because the video I found yesterday, well, I was watching live yesterday, you could see them literally picking off speakers as soon as they got onto the mic.
Yeah, this is what they're doing. They're targeting people, and they're going to keep doing it, because even today I put a post up on Fascist Book. It was about the common purpose meeting that happened in May, where they agreed that COVID-19 doesn't exist, but they've got to keep playing the game. And I've just had a 3-day ban from Facebook for putting that up. I know it's true. We've got the slides. Caroline Stevens did a live on it a couple of nights ago, and she actually showed the slides. So this meeting did happen on the 7th, and then on the 11th, a Zoom meeting where they've admitted that it doesn't exist, but they've got to keep playing the game. And that's common purpose. If you know common purpose are, or you don't know who they are, you need to go and have a look at who they are, because they're no different to Sage. Have a look at who's in Sage and who's sat on the top table of Sage, including Chris Whitty, 30 million from Gavi, and that's Bill Gates, for those that don't know.
No, I get you. It comes up a lot nowadays with the research and everything. Yeah, this is a longer version. This is a full day's one from Tyrant. I've skipped forward it quite a bit anyway, because I think there was an arrest before this made. I looked at it, there was an arrest before this made as well. And they were literally just throughout the day, they were going around and picking. I think actually putting it back here might be more accurate, to be honest. Do you want volume or?
Subject got that. I missed it. What's the question marks for, B? Hiya, bud, all right?
That was quick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's the quickest I've seen for a while.
Whoa, whoa! Whoa!
Stand back. Give us space, please.
Shame on you! 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 Animals!
These are the dirty little tactics that they've been using, though, more and more common.
Basically, target anyone who speaks up against their Nazi regime.
Yeah.
Go!
We need to start taking a leaf out of their fucking book and treating them the way they fucking treat us. But we need to start
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly,
Agreed.
mate. This is where I don't understand why people are all stood around with cameras out instead of pushing back. You know.
We need to find a way of creating both.
You lot have been great.
But in a way, I think that's what the police want. They're there to escalate things and make things worse than they are. They want to take things from being peaceful to violent.
Yeah, but we can't keep letting this go on.
I know. I completely agree with you. I completely agree. But you got to think another way. This is if we push against in another way as well, they can use that against us as violence or GBH or whatever that we want to push on you.
Well, they can't because they won't do it with me because I just won't consent. And this is another thing. I know Kate's mentioned it earlier, but all this legalese and do you understand and give me your name. You're not obliged to give a police officer any information at all. You're not obliged. Even if they arrest you, you still don't have to speak to them. This is where people get a little bit worried and a little bit fearful. There's no need to interact with the police at all at any stage. Just say you do not consent, you do not understand, and you're not obliged to give any information. Now, all this legalese bullshit is pretty difficult for people to understand. All this black law and the bullshit that they use. But as Katie's already mentioned, don't enter into a contract with them. They're all corporate puppets. They have been since 2013, and people need to understand this. The police are not there for us. People need to stop thinking that they are. The police are there to get corporate coin. Why are we getting these 10,000 fines, these 1,000 fines, these 200 fines? It's all to get the corporate money back into the pot. It's nothing to do with policing and making sure that we're safe. They're not on our side, and we need to treat them like they're not on our side.
Someone just made a comment then. Looks like there's more of us than the old Bill, and there is. And you know, I've stood back on a couple of demos, and when the police have started ringing around like this, the first thought that's popped into my mind is, why the fuck are we not putting rings around them so that they can't get out of there? If they want to hold one of ours hostage, then you know they get treated how they wish. Treat people how you wish to be treated. They want to kettle and attack people one by one. We're going to do one better than that, and we'll kettle them in until they decide to release our one, because this is beyond a joke.
I know, I agree. They've proved multiple times that they no longer represent the public or servers. They serve the government. They don't serve us no more. And like you're saying, like Hempton said, people need to open their eyes and realise that they're not serving us; they're against us.
Look how quick people move away as well. I mean, I'm not fucking taking any credit away from Tyrant for what he did, because I think, you know, following the crowd is the best thing, because he managed to get loads more arrests from doing that, and obviously he's a journalist. But obviously, just watching things back, and you just look at things and you think, yo, just linking arms, like the crowd around them linking arms together, turning their backs to them, linking arms together, and you know, all of us supporting whoever, like the front two rows doing that. You know, if they want to come through us, then they're going to have to come through us, but we're only going to let them out one by one, and they're going to have to go through that fucking ring, a couple of fucking rings to do it. Because at the minute, they're just ringing round us and walking them out.
Yeah, Katie, I don't know. As I just said, I'm not into this peaceful marching and protest. For those of you don't know, when we went to Nottingham, I was truncheoned by a police officer on my thigh. I've got the pictures of it. I didn't take any action, but he hit me once. I had my beret on and I had a suit on. Wasn't being aggressive. He told us all to stay back, and he hit me on the leg with a truncheon. I said, if you do that again, mate, I'm taking you out. And I took him out. I took him out of the line. There's a video of it. I took the cop around the neck and I took him out of the line, because he was using force against me and I didn't use any force against him. I took the copper out. Now, the copper came back to me a couple of times during the rest of the event, trying to apologize to me, and I kept telling him to get lost, because I'm not interested in what he wants any contract with me or discuss it with me. He was in the wrong. There was also a squaddy that day that got his head cracked open. Not the first time I've been kettled and someone's had their head smacked open by the police. We cannot do this by peaceful marching and agreeing with what they do. Those people there that day, yesterday, they should have forced, like you say, linked arms and forced the police into an action where we could retaliate. That's what we need to do. And I don't care what people say anymore. You don't understand where the fight is if you don't understand that they're using violence and tyranny against us. They're a corporation. They're only interested in collecting coin. They're not there for your well-being or to look after you. No crimes were committed that day, and the police started arresting people for no reason. That guy that was done recently in the tattoo parlor, and the guy with the hairdresser or the barber shop, they got done for breach of the peace and stupid stuff like that, because they can't do it. They can't get away with it. And if you stop consenting with these people, do not enter into any contract and don't give them your name, any details. If they arrest you, they're going to have to release you. They can't keep you there. They're going to have to release you.
I agree with you. The only difference of opinion I have, I mean, obviously it's only an opinion, is that I believe the protest should start off peaceful, but we should defend ourselves and we should defend our rights. Yeah, I don't think we should go out there with batons and everything going straight for the attack. I believe that if they want to come at us, we should have the right to defend ourselves.
Yeah, self-defense.
That was my point. We're not going there to be aggressive. My point is, once they start...
I know what you mean. It's just because obviously we're live. I have to make sure that obviously everyone else knows what you mean as well.
Yeah, I didn't start anything with the police when they attacked me. The police battered me. No, I didn't. I was facing him, and he battered me on the leg, on my left thigh. And I said, if you do it again, mate, I'm taking you out. And I did. There's a video of me taking the copper out round the neck, and I took him out of the line at Nottingham. I took him out of the line, round the neck. Because as soon as they start hitting us, we've got to retaliate. There's no point standing there with your camera filming it. You've got to link arms. You've got to stand together. You've got to stand together and fight back. That's the thing. At the end of the day, you've got to fight back. Record everything. Fight back. And the other thing that we need to start doing is, and this is something that we're doing at the moment, is taking all these coppers. You need to film it. You need to get the coppers' numbers and take them on a private prosecution, because they are people like us. And when you take them to a private prosecution, they can't become part of their corporate law anymore. They also, in fairness, they also need their liability and indemnity insurance where on these marches, these coppers, because they're all working for a corporation. If you have a limited company in this country and you go and work on aircraft or on trains, something expensive, you have to have that liability insurance in case you cause any loss, harm, injury or damage whilst you're working under your corporate name. And that's what these coppers are. They all work for the corporation, and they can tell you what they like about their oath and the bullshit. It's 2013. They've all been corporations, the same as the council, social services, the police force, and even our government is a corporation. People need to stop looking into this. You've got to start doing some more research on it.
I agree with you. That's one of the things that we promote everyone to do.
It's really important now at this stage that coppers start getting prosecuted privately for kidnap. You can privately prosecute them for kidnap.
Speaking of which, there was a video that popped up on my feed yesterday. Someone actually got arrested for looking too young. It wasn't over here in the UK, but it was still a poignant thing that would point out being arrested for looking too young, and then being marched off to the local high school because he refused to give them physical identification.
Well, I'm just reading through the comments. There's a few comments here. Now, I've heard that, I can't verify this, but there is a training camp about 40 or 50 miles outside of the main town in Israel, where our British coppers are going over to be taught these tactics. Now, I can't prove that at the moment. I had a conversation with somebody the other day who insisted on speaking to me. And just one second, I'm going to have to cough. Excuse me. Our British coppers currently, and these EU coppers, whatever you want to call them, all this EU stuff that apparently is all being amalgamated, they're going over to Israel to be taught these nasty boy tactics. I'm going to call them Nazi tactics. Now, I'd say I can't verify that. Maybe someone else has heard it, but I had a conversation directly with someone who said, this is happening. You need to go to this place. I can't remember the name of it now. It's about 50 kilometers outside of miles outside of a major city in Israel, where these coppers are being taught. And it's not just UK coppers, it's also all these EU bully coppers that people keep talking about. Something along those lines. But I can't verify. If anybody else has got any information on it, it would be great to know. And if I might just say on a separate point, Katie-Jayne, David Robinson died this week, for those that don't know. He was a massive common law guy. I spent a week with him down in Weston-super-Mare, but he died this week. So if anybody knew him or knows him, he was a very he was a guy that took Glastonbury. He's very prominent with the common law, and he was the one that really wanted to take the police. He wasn't interested in Parliament. He wanted to stop the tyranny with the police. Unfortunately, he died this week. I don't know what the funeral arrangements are. The guy he was staying with, I won't say his name on here. He sent me through the details. Don't know about the funeral and that. So if anybody knows him or would like to go to the funeral, you'll have to PM me. However, I am on a 3-day Facebook ban for spreading the truth again. But rather sad news this week. He was a proper patriot. He was also a guy that put his own registration plate on his motor, and the police impounded it, so he went and chopped the bolts off the police station to get his van out. And he is also the one that took over Glastonbury County Council. So he was quite a revolutionary. But anyway, he passed away this week.
Thoughts with the family. Wow.
Yeah.
Some sad news, that is.
Yeah, he was a good guy, mate. He was a good guy. But he wasn't very well anyway, but unfortunately he's gone this week. So, yeah, some sad news there. Yeah, if anybody wants details of the funeral, I haven't got them yet, but that you can PM me if my PM works, and then or you can call me if those have got my number.
Yeah, I'm banned off Facebook as well. No one can get through. Everyone keeps messaging me, and I can't respond to any of them at the minute. So it's yeah, pulling a funny one at the minute.
Same here, Katie. I'm currently banned at the minute.
Yeah, I think most of us are. The thing is,
Yeah.
my post was the truth. It's nothing that they can deny. So when I'm back on it, I'm going to put all the details up of that common purpose and who's in charge, and to say that is fact what was put up. And the thing is, you can't argue those facts now with Facebook either, can you? You just press a button and dispute it. So
Some of us can't even do that. I mean, I wasn't even on Facebook for the day. I went on just to check what had been posted up and to see what I'd missed from demos that weren't put on YouTube. And it come up saying I was restricted. So it was just like, yeah, okay then.
yeah, it's getting it's well. This is going to get. The other thing is with this, guys, and I'm sure most of you will be in agreement. This is going to get worse. They're going to have to keep pushing this. They're going to have to keep pushing this lie now. They're being found out on a daily basis with the bullshit. I don't know if anybody's seen the Freedom of Information Act request from Nottinghamshire NHS, where since this COVID bullshit 19, which doesn't exist anyway, they've had 14 deaths in Nottinghamshire's NHS. And with the false positive rate, it works out at half a person since the outbreak began. And all these freedom of requests, there was a live the other night, and I've seen a guy who's done freedom of requests. None of the police have had COVID, but only 2 days ago, the police have now said, oh, X amount of police officers now tested positive for COVID. All the FOIs that we've got, and I've seen, all state quite clearly, nobody in the police has had COVID, because it doesn't exist, or any form of coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. The NHS freedom of informations that we have are showing no deaths at all, basically, associated with COVID-19. And also, two of the official government ministries, I can't remember the names of them now, Department of Health and Social Care, have admitted that they cannot isolate the virus, that is the SARS-CoV-2, as they call it, which they then nicknamed or codenamed COVID-19. They've never isolated it. The CDC have said the same, the NHS have said the same, and government departments have said the same. And the problem is they're going to have to keep pushing this lie narrative. And this is why the tyranny and the violence is going to escalate. That's why we've got these COVID-19 bullshit inspectors now at shops. That's why you've got these clowns at the doors at shops telling you can't go in without a mask on. It's just going to get worse. It's going to get worse until we stop it. That's the thing. And the marches in Liverpool and Bristol and other cities over the weekend, they need to get bigger, and people start, like you say, need to link in arms and stopping the police. That's what you've got to do. You've got to stop the police.
Yeah, about the NHS as well. I've heard a lot on the radio talking about the NHS is overrun with COVID-19 cases. I can tell you for a fact there is hardly anyone in the hospitals. The hospitals are near enough empty.
Yeah, listen, we've I don't know what there's a hashtag on Facebook that says film your COVID center or something. There must be 50 people who've put videos up. We went to Wolverhampton. Well, we drove past Wolverhampton yesterday. There's nobody in the test center. Nobody. We drove past it. So where are they getting all these numbers from? Where are the government getting these 500 dead a day and 4,000 people infected with COVID-19? Where are they getting the numbers from? They're making them up. People need to realise these numbers are being made up. It's a lie. The whole thing is a lie. The thing is, they're so deep in their lie now, they've got to keep it going. Well, they can't get out. No, they can't get out because they're in it so deep. This is why the tyranny is happening. This is why these COVID-19 inspectors are at restaurants and shopping centres and that. They're there because of the tyranny. They're so deep in the shit now with these lies that they can't get out of it. This will blow people's heads off when the government turn around and go, actually, it wasn't as bad as we said it was. Because they can't do it now, can they?
Yeah, go on, mate.
Yeah, they're all so deeply in it financially as well, with all the shares in these companies and the money being spread around. That Chris Whitty's had 30 million from Gates for malaria exploration in Africa. These people are going to keep telling the lie while the coin keeps coming. Because it's all part of the corporate coin. All of this shit is all part of the corporate coin. Sorry, mate, go on.
Oh, hang on. You keep going in there. I think what I was going to say again. It's gone out of my head.
I'm going to find something that I was watching this morning about 5 minutes. Goes into a bit about, obviously, well, yeah, I'll find it and I'll show you. Be easier.
I'm just going to read through the comments a little bit, just because so I'll keep up with what people are saying.
No problem.
Well, that's another comment. Yeah, all these sheeple, mate. The arguments I've had. Well, I don't really have arguments with these dickheads because, well, first I've always got my hat on and I've always got my coat on. And I'm not saying I'm a big bloke, but people don't want to kind of come to you and to be too aggressive with you. But if they do, they get shot down in these places. And I'm not seeing anybody. And this is the other big problem that we've got. I'm not seeing many people who are prepared not to wear their mask. I was in a Tesco's the other day, and there's a woman at the front of the counter bagging all her stuff up, out of breath and sweating with a mask on. I said, look, just take it off. And in the end, you know what it came down to again? The fear of the fine. That's why she wouldn't take it off. And I've seen her again down at the fag counter buying fags while she's all out of puff with a mask on. And she still hasn't took it off. I said, what's the matter with you? Well, I've just told you I'm scared of the fine. And this is the problem. It's the fear now. They've built the fear in, and these fucking sheep. Honestly, we're the only people that go into like the Merry Hill shopping centre without a mask on. I've never worn a mask. I've never worn a mask on TFL. I've never worn a mask anywhere in the whole time because the whole thing has been bullshit right from the beginning. Me and you watched that video, Katie, the other day from that German girl doing that presentation.
Yeah.
Now that girl has gone right back. They're saying that not only was the COVID-19, the word COVID-19, that it's part of the coronavirus and there is a flu of some sort. I don't think anyone's going to dispute that. But she's gone right back to where they started doing the experiments and the investigation in Wuhan when the first 7 people were diagnosed back in December last year. And nobody could actually identify what it was. Nobody knew. So they made the word COVID-19 up. And that became the new fear word for the whole of Western society. Well, a developed Western society. It's shocking. People are buying into it, believing it, and wearing the mask through fear of the fine. And this all comes back. Follow the money. All comes back to the money.
It does 100%. I'm just trying to find where this bloody thing was.
It's the mainstream media that's not helping either. They're pushing the narrative as well as the government. But as we see it as well, the mainstream media are the government's puppets. They're the ones pulling the strings and getting these things pushed into line and carry on with the fear mongering and keeping people scared. They've got a lot to answer for at the end of this as well. The mainstream media have big time.
Well, on that, Grimo, there's some people will know. Again, it's come back to David Robinson. I sat with David Robinson last year when the veterans were going to put their malicious propaganda and communications about what the veterans were doing. They did a program. So David Robinson sat down. We did a 23-page document at the time. Nobody knew I was doing that document, but I sat with David Robinson up in Huddersfield, and we put that paperwork together for the BBC. Now, a lot of you won't know because it wasn't a very well-attended event, but we did drive to the BBC and we issued the BBC with that 23-page document. It's all under common law, and it's all about them having to reply, no different to the 2001 Barron's petition to the Queen about the Lisbon Treaty and the effects of the Lisbon Treaty on the sovereignty of the UK. So, one sec. So those documents have already been served. Now, there's a couple of people at the moment are looking at taking a large media centre and being able to put our, call it right wing, call it what you like, our alternative narrative to what the media is currently portraying, and also the lies within the media. So the BBC, as well as the Welsh Assembly, which has also served papers under common law, are both targets that could easily be taken by our sovereign people. Just for information.
1 minute, watch your mic. You're covering your mic again. I'll start in
oh, sorry, did you hear all that?
Yeah, we did hear it.
Yeah, so this paperwork's been issued. I was there. There is a very short video of us outside the BBC, and some bloke came out from under that pedo statue out one of the back doors because there was some filming or something going on that day, and it was all kind of barricaded off. But those papers have been served. So as along with the Welsh Assembly, and of course I have documents which again came from David Robinson of all the police chief constables and inspectors, all Freemasons, of course, and the judges that have all been served, and a number of MPs that have been served. And I've also heard this week there's 10 MPs now resigned, and it's all going quietly. You're not seeing it in the mainstream media, but 10 MPs have resigned because all 656 or whatever it is MPs have now also been served with a similar document that we served to the BBC, and that was served on the Welsh Assembly and all the other chief constables and judges around the country that have had this paperwork served. We don't know whether they've resigned because they're just not in agreement with the government, or that they are quite scared about the paperwork that's been issued. So there's a lot of stuff gone on, and there's a lot of stuff that we could, as sovereign citizens and under our common law, that we could take direct action with.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Wait a second, I'm just jumping off for a second.
Yeah, I just want to read. I don't like it when people are on and we don't read their comments, because they're taking part in it. So I'm just going to scroll back a little bit and go through some comments. Oh yeah, the PCR. Don't do the PCR. The guy, there's a video on YouTube that you can find. I can't remember his name now. The guy who invented the PCR test. There's a video saying that the PCR test will not identify COVID-19, which doesn't exist, but will not identify the coronavirus. It will only identify the DNA that's already within your body. So you might have had the flu. Most of us have had it, let's be honest. And sometimes it's bad and sometimes it's not bad. But all those bits of DNA that are still inside your body will be found by the PCR test. It doesn't matter what it is. And this is why they couldn't identify this strain of flu when the Wuhan thing kicked off and the German doctor did the first 7 tests on the saliva or DNA, whatever testing they were doing as doctors. They couldn't find it. So they just made up the word COVID-19 to be this strain of the flu. But the PCR test does not check it. It does not check it. And I know most of you probably listening will know that, but the PCR test will find any fragments of DNA and they'd magnify it until such a time that they find something in it. That's why you get so many false positives, because they can't tell you what it is exactly that they found unless they've identified every strain of flu since you were born that you could have had in your body. So PCR tests, Carrie Mullins, was it Mullins? McDonald's farmer?
Not
Is it Mullins? But anyway, there is a video of the guy who invented it, and he says it quite clear. He says it quite clearly that the PCR test will not identify COVID-19, and it won't even identify which strains of flu you have, because obviously once your body breaks it down, you're not going to have that virus thing on you. It's going to be broken down. You're going to have dead bits of DNA in your body.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. The only way really to stop these COVID cases from rising is by stop taking these tests. Like you say, they've been proven that they ain't adequate. So the only way to stop it from rising, the only way to keep us out of lockdown and to stop them pushing more on us is to stop taking these tests.
Yeah,
there's no way we can look around it.
Yeah, sorry if I'm talking too much. Just interrupt me. But Kat just made a point. Yeah, that people. I've seen Elon Musk's put a tweet out, hasn't he, saying that he's had 4 tests with the same person in the same hospital with the same processes. So it wasn't 4 separate hospitals, 4 different nurses. He's had 2 came back positive, 2 came back negative. And I'm sure most of you have seen the guy who actually took the swabs straight out of the sterile bag, put them straight into the test bottle, and sent it off, and they came back positive. So you can see that it's. There's a lot of good comments in here saying exactly that. So most of you are pretty woke anyway. But the PCR test does not work. It does not identify. It cannot identify anything. That's pretty much what it's saying. It can identify that you've got certain aspects of stuff in your body when they do the test, and they can magnify it as much as they want until they find something minute and minuscule to say that you've got something. So as people have said, people have. I know one guy, he tested the dog, his keyboard, and the pavement outside, and the keyboard came back negative. Or the keyboard came back positive, and the pavement and the dog were negative or something. There's another video of that was sent out, that's been put out.
I've had people testing fruit and it's come back positive for coronavirus.
Yeah, I mean, that guy who just put the test probes straight out the sterile bag in the solution, put the top on, and sent it off was positive. He just took it out the sterile bag and put it straight into the test pot. He videoed it.
There you go, and that just proves, don't it? It proves how inadequate and how false these tests are, and why we shouldn't be taking them seriously.
Yeah, Kat said again, the papers for Matt Hancock. Now, I know that Matt Hancock was served last year with papers, and this had nothing to do with the current conversation. But the problem with this is, I'm not saying it's a problem, the issue with this is that when you do it under the common law and you go into the maritime court, they're just not going to accept it. So if you want to arrest Matt Hancock, we've tried a number of times to arrest Tony Blair, and you always get kicked out. But when you try to arrest these people, you take them to a police station, the police are just going to let them go. And that's the issue we have at the moment. Until we stop this government and the tyranny, or the police, one of those two, which is what David Robinson always advocated, was taking the police, then we're going to struggle with it. We're going to struggle with our rights to stop them. That's the issue we have at the moment. I'm just reading some comments again.
No worries. I'm still looking for this bloody video because I can't remember where the fuck I saw it or why the fuck I didn't save it.
Yeah, Brett, it's not so much the PCR is not valid. The PCR is a valid test, but you can't identify a virus with it. That's the issue. And it becomes an issue of magnification then. They magnify these tests so much until they can find something, and then they call it a positive test. But they don't know what it is. It takes a little bit more than just magnifying a saliva test to prove that you've got anything. Free speech. Oh, thanks very much, mate. Fabulous info. I've got a lot of info, mate. A lot of stuff in my head. And spending a week with David Robinson as well. That was brilliant. So yeah, the other. I'm going to read these before I waffle on. See if I can answer some of these.
No worries. Gives me a chance to look through this and not worry about the comments for a minute when I know you've got them.
Yeah, you know what I'm like when people are on. I don't like them not getting their comments read out. You know, some people don't want to come on live, do they? And they'd like to get involved. So
yeah, we do appreciate all the comments that come in as well.
Yeah, Kat, there comes a time when peaceful protests don't work. Well, you weren't on earlier, but I was battered by the police and I took them out. And I have no regrets. And I'd do it again. Well, we don't have privileges. We do have rights. The problem is at the moment that police think that their acts and statutes stand above our common law rights, and that's not the case. In fact, if you go into these maritime courts, again, I don't want to get into all the legal legalese, let's call it that, and the bullshit they come out with, but you can get rid of them straight away. You can get rid of them straight away when you go into the court. And I don't mean just being a straw man and talk to my paper birth certificate and all that. It's just too easy with legalese to get rid of them. We've got a couple of court cases. In fact, there's one coming up this week, but I'm not going to discuss it here. But we'll be in court this week with a very good friend of mine who's just as switched on, if that's the right word, with these issues, because they're not real anyway. It's just coin collecting. That's all the courts are for, coin collecting. In our situation, obviously, there's criminals that go into court. That's a different issue.
Yeah, it's like with as the video I played at the beginning, or the audio, sorry, I played at the beginning. As that stated, you know, you can use the system to your advantage, but you have to know how to do it. You need to know your rights, what you're entitled to, law. You know, you need to know it. It's basic stuff which you need to know throughout life. It's really annoying that I can't find this bloody video.
The problem is it isn't easy. That's the thing, and most people are fearful, like they are now, wearing masks. Why are people wearing masks? They're not wearing masks to stop getting the virus. They're wearing a mask because they're scared of getting a 200 quid fine.
Yeah.
And I came out of Merry Hills the other day without my mask on. The coppers were outside. No one up to speak to him about another matter. He never asked me where my mask was. The copper, he had his on, but he never asked me where mine was. But I had another issue that I wanted to discuss with the copper, and no questions asked. Every time I walk into anywhere, I just say, I don't need to wear a mask, mate. I don't need to. Nobody does. There's nothing in this country that's killing people. Even suicides now. I put a post up about St. John Ambulance saying how many suicides there were now in the UK on a daily basis. It's more than doubled since 2015. The suicides now in the UK, and obviously we've got all the other issues: cancer, dementia, illnesses, heart attacks, strokes, all the other stuff that people know about. Who's dying of COVID-19? Nobody has died of COVID-19. Nobody has died of COVID-19 because the government themselves have admitted that they cannot isolate COVID-19. How can they have a virus, a vaccine already in place for something that they can't isolate? And people still are going to take that vaccine. People are still going to take it. I'm currently reading a book on immunization, immune system and vaccines. I read one on cancer. It's by Dr. Cowan, I think. He said exactly the same. Look at the levels of autism now in this country. Look at the way the children are now. When we were kids, I'm 54. When we were kids, nobody had an allergy. Not many people had autism. It wasn't even discussed. I mean, a few people were a bit crazy, kids, but nobody was really obese. Everybody went out. Everybody got on with stuff. And one of the first things in the book that I'm reading about immunity, the immune system and vaccine is aluminium. Aluminium is what's causing these issues within the brain of our kids at the moment that is causing massive issues. Now, I don't give a fuck if you're vax or anti-vax. If you're not looking at what you're putting in your body that you can't take out again, then you've got an issue. We're all looking at being healthy with our food and eating our fruit and veg, but we're quite happy to put aluminium and mercury and baby fetus into our bodies that you can never take out again. And if people aren't looking into that, then it's your own fault. And if you're getting your kids vaccinated without checking what's going in your kids, then I'm afraid it's your own fault as well.
Well, it's the thing, it's like I had this conversation with someone last year about the amount of mercury, just to take one of the stuff that they put in there as, the subject is they have to remove even the slightest bit of mercury wearing hazmat suits. Yeah, they're quite happily to put trace amounts of mercury in the bodies of young children.
Well, this is the thing, Katie, on the vaccine thing. I mean, I'm only at the beginning of this book. It's a shame I didn't finish it. I finished the one on cancer. It's by the same doctor who does more of the holistical and natural remedies. But some of the stuff in there, people may know Rife and Quinton. Quinton was the guy who got mineralized water out of the sea, out of vortexes in the sea. He put it into a dog. This is going back into the 1920s, 1930s. And also Rife with frequencies, healing people with frequencies. I've just ordered a Rife machine with the pads and everything to do these frequency tests. All that stuff was stopped firstly by the CIA and then by our NHS. And the NHS was set up pretty much at the same time, MK Ultra, all these things that you guys probably know about, basically to stop cancer treatments so that they could then spend billions and billions of pounds. And in the last 50 years, we've come no further along with cancer treatment than we did when they tried to stop it all. And the books that I'm reading about natural healing and frequency healing are way beyond anything that anything could be offered in the NHS or on any current medical radiation, heating, whatever they're using, chemotherapy. Nothing heals as well as these natural healing processes that are highlighted in the book. And the book isn't about being one-sided, it's about being both-sided. But when you start looking at the information and how they heal people, even basic things like burdock or mistletoe being used in the healing processes of certain cancers, certain types of cancers. Obviously, I'm not going to say there's a one fit for all, but there are certain cancers that can be treated with certain natural elements and with frequencies. And the book is quite fantastic. But anyway, the start of this other book was about injecting kids. Everybody who's got kids, you just need to look at what you're doing and what you're putting in your kids, because they're saying that autism is going to be 1 in every 3 people, children that is, by 2030. Every 3rd child is going to have some kind of autism due to the injections that they're having. And I think now there's something like 13 different vaccinations, over 69 injections that people have in America up to the age of 18. I know when we were kids, we didn't have all that crap. We certainly didn't have peanut allergies and fish allergy and waking up allergy and all this other stuff I hear now that it's been put into our kids' bodies. So I'll have to give you an update when I finish the second book.
No worries. I'm struggling to find this bloody thing. Do me in. Sorry.
Yeah, Kat said,
Yeah,
there
back
is.
to this.
Go on.
Yeah,
I'm
go on, mate.
waffling. Go on. Go on.
Yeah, back to the subject on these masks. It's been proven that these masks don't work anyway. You still can get vapors within your eyes through sneezing or whatever else. It doesn't stop nothing. The type of masks that can stop these sort of things and stop you getting it in the first place are full face masks.
But they don't exist.
Yeah, mate. I'd agree. The thing, people are wearing a mask. They're not wearing a mask to stop getting the virus. They're wearing a mask for the fear of being fined.
Yeah, the muzzles. That's all they are. That's all they are. Muzzles.
Controlling, mate. Should control you, and people aren't getting it. People still aren't getting it.
No, I refuse to wear one. I've refused to wear one since
It's
day
echoing
one.
really bad on your end.
Say again.
I don't know why, but Grim's end's echoing really bad when he's speaking.
I ain't got a clue why it's doing that. I'm gonna have to shoot off soon anyway.
I was gonna say you're all right now. It stopped for some reason. So I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, but you're right, mate. And the other thing is, all of these people with these things on, they haven't got them over the mouth. They've just got them over the mouth, not over the nose. I mean, it's just they're just fearful, mate. They're fearful. They're shitting their pants about getting a 200 quid fine. Do you know? I've had nobody really. I mean, I've had the sheep, but people at these Gestapo Nazi type people that think they've got some kind of power over me because I'm not wearing a mask. They're the only people that none of them have ever had a go. It's just the people in the shops looking at you funny. So what's up with you, love? What's up with you? They just don't like the fact that you're, I don't know, man enough, big enough, not scared enough to wear a mask when you're out, mate. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I say, if we all don't wear one, they can't do nothing then, can they?
No. Kat's made a few comments here. There is a cure for cancer. There is a cure for cancer. There is a cure for most cancers. The problem with the cancers, Kat, from reading that book, again, I just recommend people read it, make their own judgment, but different types of cancer require different types of treatment. And when you go through that book, all of the, I'm not going to say cures, but kind of remedies are all based on different types of cancer, like breast cancer and colon cancer, all those things. So there is a cure if you understand which part of the natural healing process is going to actually assist that. But that book also goes into the way cells are structured as well. So you need to understand that, and also alkaline diets a little bit more, or drinking alkaline water, making sure you get the right vitamins. People say one of the things in that book is lots of vitamin C. Obviously, with the flu season around the corner, or probably already upon us, vitamin D and vitamin C are vital, and you can take as much vitamin C as you want. If you're feeling a bit snotty, just keep taking them vitamin C tablets, the fizzy ones in the water. You can have one every hour. It's not going to affect you. Vitamin C is not easily taken up by the body anyway. There's also another form of vitamin C you can use, which is treated a little bit differently, so it doesn't break down as quickly inside the gut, but you have to look into all that yourselves. But yeah, you can certainly, and also frequencies. It's not just that's it. Vernon Coleman, thank you, Kat. Yeah, I'm on his second book now. I think we've got 3. He's got Good Heart, Good Mind, or something. I can't remember what the other one is. Excuse me again. It's about the knowledge in there. It's not about his opinion. It's about the knowledge that's in there. But there's definitely different horses for different courses as far as cancer is concerned, and also frequencies. That Ralph Royal Rife, fantastic. And I'm getting one of those machines. Just speaking to my mate who we're going to court with, and we're going to get one of those and start looking at these frequencies. And colloidal silver as well. We'll use that. We even make soaps and stuff like that with all natural. It's a bit green and gay, I suppose, a bit tree hugging, but there's a lot of stuff in this natural healing and looking after your body naturally. I don't know why we got onto this subject all of a sudden, from beating the police up to Iodine, yeah, and also I don't think you buy iodine in this country anymore. Oregano oil, what a healer! I've got it in my vape. It clears all the crap out your lungs. Believe me. Anybody wants to know about that? Give us a shout, and I'll let you know. But I don't think you can buy iodine anymore in this country. I'm pretty sure you can't, because we buy a lot of stuff, natural stuff. Some of the comments are really good, guys. Really good. You're obviously quite awake.
I've just got
Right.
Rachel's just sent me something. I'm struggling to read it though because it is like it's a screenshot, so it's hard to read. But it's going on to basically explain the fucking point of the whole test. And the reason that it's so painful is because it is there to pierce a blood-brain barrier. There's a few videos up about it as well, about how the tests are there to pierce the blood-brain barrier, how it can cause the effects that it can cause, the symptoms it can cause, and so on and so forth. And it also explains why it's dead painful as well. And you've seen the amount of children that have been babies, toddlers that have been forced to have this test. It's heartbreaking. That's why they scream so much, because it hurts. No one needs to go that far up someone's brain.
Yeah, but they're also using those nasal sprays now, aren't they? In the schools, so they're just spraying it around now, aren't they? I mean, it's just all wrong, mate. It's wrong. It's wrong on every level, and it's been going on for 50 years. Also, a couple of weeks ago, I saw an American doctor they've actually managed now to get all of these farmers through the American High Court, whatever it is in America. They've actually got the confession, or they've got they won their court case to basically say that all of these injections that they've been putting in people with the, what do you call it, the lack of indemnity, so you can't sue them. They've won the court case in America, in the High Court or wherever it is in America, Supreme Court. So that was quite a win. A couple of weeks ago that happened. So it looks like a lot of these companies now are going to have to get these vaccines out quick to make a lot of money, because they're all going to start getting sued big time, especially for the damage to the kids.
Well, people need to start taking action and stop lying down and letting them take it.
Well, I think people also, whether you're pro or anti-vax, it doesn't really matter to me. You need to understand what's going in your body. You know, people banging on about, your 5 a day and eating healthily, but they're quite happy to let the kids get injected with stuff that's been grown on human fetus.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that part myself, but
Don't think many of us do, to be fair. I think that people have forgotten how to research and how to find things out for themselves and to actually do the research.
yeah, the thing is, there's plenty of books out there, Kate. I know it's a bit boring reading a book rather than watching YouTube, but we bought those books from Cowan. Thanks again, Kat, for putting the name up. They're fantastic eye openers to see what people were doing before the NHS took control of pharma, and all these companies now that you know about, GSK and Pfizer, they basically bought everybody up. They just own it. It's just like eBay and Facebook and Google. They bought everything that they want, and they own it themselves. They've got no liability. If they do get sued, they don't care. I think Pfizer's biggest fine was 2.3 billion, and yet they're still producing, and they're still in business, and they're going to be the next to produce this new COVID-19 that doesn't exist vaccine. They're still in business after billions of dollars of fines. I think there's another 20 odd cases going against Pfizer at the moment.
I mean, they've even brought the fucking force these tests and ready for these vaccines in schools. All places, schools are bringing the army in to they're not even scared to terrify our children into just complying without questioning. What
are your thoughts on this vaccine possibly being pushed upon us, where we have to have it, where it's mandatory? I've heard this being said a few times that we could be forced to have it.
Well, I think what they'll try and do is they'll force you another way, won't they? You'll be restricted on travel. You won't get a job, and I do think it's going that way, because this is going to get worse. If they don't stop this, it's going to get worse. Whether it's this, I've heard you're going to get an armband if you're negative. Obviously, people have obviously heard about the concerts now, Ticketmaster, or whatever they're called. I think it's going to happen. You know, if you go to a big employee, I don't know, call it Amazon, and you haven't got your white armband on, you can't come to work. And they're going to keep forcing the tests. That'll be the thing. You're going to have to keep getting tested every 2 or 3 days to prove that you're negative to something that doesn't exist anyway.
Yeah,
But,
which is just going to do more damage to not just the brain member, but it's just going to do damage to the brain, because each and every time they'll be piercing the blood-brain barrier, and people doing this to their health. They can't do it without your consent, so they're fear-mongering the consent out of people.
Yeah, that's probably the right thing to say. It's the same as the masks. Nobody needs to wear a mask. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody needs to wear a mask. If you choose to wear a mask, that's your decision. But if you're really worried about the flu, you wouldn't be wearing a PTF mask that's got the same stuff on as Teflon over your head, breathing it in and out. You wouldn't be doing it. If it wasn't for fear, you wouldn't be doing it. If people choose to wear a mask and they're worried about the flu, they'd have a military-style full face mask on that's rubbered all around the side of the face, and they've got a breathing apparatus on the side that filters everything out, if you're really worried about it. Putting a paper nappy on your face to try and stop the flu, it's not going to stop the flu anyway. It won't work.
No.
But yeah, the fear factor will be the thing, I think, Katie. The fear factor will be, if you don't get the vaccine, you can't go to a concert, can't go to a football match, you can't go to the supermarket unless you show your white band. I believe it's going to go that way, because they can't stop this now, can they? If they're not going to stop the lie and the bullshit, then they're going to have to keep enforcing it, and they're going to have to enforce it with more and more stringent laws. Look at what the coppers are doing now. They're just taking people out, battering people to the floor. People are getting fined £10,000, £2,000, £1,000, £200 just for going to a gym. So that's what they're going to keep doing, isn't it? They're going to keep pushing that narrative until they get the full fear factor across the whole nation. That's my belief.
This is why we can't give in. This is why we can't give away our rights, no matter how much they push us, no matter how much they threaten to take away from us. You know,
well, look what they've took away from us so far. They've already took away our freedom of speech. They've took away who we can see, what we can buy. You know what I mean? We were losing everything.
They took it away.
Yeah.
This is the thing. There was another video that I watched. Well, I think I played it this morning, where they're not taking our power. We're giving them our power. And the way to stop it is to stop giving them our power. So if they won't employ us, if companies won't employ us to do what we do, then that should be our encouragement to, right, well, we'll set something up ourselves then. Right, then we'll set our own business up and we'll start, becoming self-employed and putting our own creativity to work and use it as, a stepping stone to push ourselves further, so that they don't have that control over us to take our kids' livelihood away from us. If we stop giving them our power, if we stop giving them control over us, it will make things a hell of a lot harder for us, for them even. But until everyone stood together, for the ones of us that are trying to take back keep our power, keep our rights, it's going to make things harder for us. That's why we do all need to stand together. We do all need to start pushing forward, start
unite
the community, linking up with each other. There's going to be hundreds of campaigners that have the same trades and the same talents as other people, who'd be able to link up and be able to sort out, their own self-sufficient things. It's just
I've had ideas about things we could do. Like, for instance, I would like to, if you guys could help me, set up a protest in every county of this country, every county, because not everyone can get to certain counties. So if we have our own counties, there's no excuses no more. We need to stand up, we need to be heard, and we need to say no more to this. It needs to end, because this will keep going on until it gets to the point where you can't live a normal life altogether, where there's no humanity left to live, where you feel like you're a slave to your own country.
That's something like what we've been talking about in Children Matter, about the about sorting out awareness days. To sort it out in other towns and other counties, you need to have people from those counties willing to stand up and willing to organise it in their local areas, because it's not going to be possible for one person or one group to organise it in every location without those locations actually helping as well. It does need to happen. We do need to have people out on the streets, exercising their rights, enjoying the sun, enjoying the weather, enjoying the community, and actually getting back to business. So maybe it means that we need to start bringing out our creativity and start standing on our own feet. But if it's something we have to do, then it's something we have to do.
Dawn Ogden, if that's your real name, made a point about thalidomide from the 50s and 60s. Also, Gates has been done in Africa. He killed 11 children. Also, the reports I was reading on it, they were forced people into signing consent forms for their children. And this was the polio vaccine. 65,000 people have died of polio in Africa, despite it almost being eradicated in the Western developed world. I'm not saying almost. Bill Gates has already been done for it, and he's also been kicked out of India with some other far off village that he's gone to and forced vaccinations on people. This is getting pretty scary when if people start looking into this about what's going on.
I think people need to stop buying the tests. I think people need to stop getting the tests, because that's where these numbers are coming from. These numbers only exist because people are trying to prove the government wrong and trying to out the government for what they are, and are taking these tests. And as soon as they come back positive, that's a number on their checklist. Doesn't matter if you filmed yourself not doing it or not. They just need the numbers, because outside of our bubbles, outside of our reach, those people aren't going to see anything other than the numbers going up. And if they don't see anything other than the numbers going up, they ain't going to start waking up to this hoax. I honestly believe we need to stop getting these tests and stop because we're just helping them. It comes across like we're trying to be cocky and outsmart them, when all we're doing is giving them the numbers that they need. Whether they're true or not, we've seen it over the history. The government doesn't care about the truth. The government just cares about what they can pass off as fact.
Yeah, we're getting screwed over on every angle, and like you say, people taking the test is all it's going to. Well, I think the government are making the numbers up anyway. I don't see where they're getting these 4,000 tests a day. Go to that website, and all of these test centres are empty. So where are the government getting these tests from? The hospitals are empty. We've seen it. I saw a video in Warsaw yesterday when they've gone into a Nightingale hospital in Warsaw. There's nobody in it. I mean, there's not even doctors in it. It's derelict. It's empty. That was in Warsaw yesterday. So where are they getting the numbers from? They're just making them up. They proved it on Saturday that the numbers that they were using were wrong. And the thing is, nobody's dying from this COVID-19 bullshit. Many people are dying from flu and symptoms of the flu, that is having other issues, underlying health issues, which is also proven by the Freedom of Information Act that we got from Nottinghamshire NHS. People aren't dying. People aren't dying at the moment. They may be dying from flu-like symptoms associated with underlying health issues. So where are they getting these stats from? All they're saying now is it's 500 died today that may have been tested positive in the last 28 days for COVID-19 that doesn't exist. But this is the mainstream media again, pushing a narrative that doesn't exist, pushing a narrative that's a lie with figures that they must be making up. They must be making the figures up.
I agree with you. It's just reminded me of a video. Someone's just put a comment in saying, what part of no don't they get? And obviously I mentioned before that I do have massive respect for Anonymous. And they did put a video up a couple of days ago, and it said in it about the power of no. So I'm just gonna spend a minute and try and find that. So
yeah, as well, those with kids, Kat's put a comment in here that I've seen these letters as well, where the army's coming in next week and we're going to be looking after your kids. You got to be very careful. We don't have our kids in school, so I'm not saying take your kids out of school, but I wouldn't have them in school at the moment because they will do what they want with your kids. And the other thing is that I don't know whether people are aware of this, but there's these kind of FEMA centres that they're calling them. They call them from America, these isolation centres. They're already in Ireland, Southern Ireland. They're already in Australia and New Zealand. And the health minister and the Prime Minister of New Zealand, what's her name, Jardine or whatever her name is, they've already said if people do not test, they will take them to isolation centres and wait for them till they get tested. And if they don't get tested, they'll be kept in the isolation centres. That is a prison camp if you're not going to get tested. This is going to come to this country if they don't stop the lie soon. If they don't stop the lie soon, this will get worse. And these camps will be there, and they will take your kids away. They'll take your kids away and put them in there, and they'll make sure that you get the test. And they'll keep testing and keep testing until they can keep this numbers strategy going with their lie. This shit is going to happen. well, I'm going to say it's my opinion, but it's happening in other countries already. These places have been set up and they're ready to go. I think they might even use the schools or the Nightingales as these, call them FEMA isolation centres. They keep people away from their families, separate people, cause more anxiety and stress. And of course, if you don't do it, you don't get your jab, you're not going to get your kids back, you're not going to get your family members back. That's what's going to happen, I believe. It's going to get worse.
I agree, mate. I agree. Anyway, I've got to get going because my internet ain't too brilliant and I've got to sort some bits out now. So I'll see you all later. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on, mate. It's really good. It's really
No
good chat.
problem at all. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jim.
I'll have to go as well, mate. We'll have to do one. The thing is, we've got a lot of family here today. It's quite busy. So we'll have to do another one, and I'll get some more notes. I did write some notes today, especially about the do not consent. This is one thing people need to do. You are not obliged to give the police your details. You need to understand that. Am I obliged to give you my details? You don't need to do that. Make sure you film it all. Don't give any details ever. Even if they lock you up, don't give any details. I know it's difficult. I know you get a bit worried and fearful. You got to keep fighting back. So we need to do another one, Katie, when we get a few more people on. I'll try and get my mate. And I'm not going to mention his name now, but he's pretty much up on this legalese stuff as well. Which, if people want to get into the technicalities of it, he's very good at indeed. And other people who are fighting back, try and get 3 or 4 people together, and we'll have a chat, and people can chuck their questions in, and we'll see if we can assist people with some answers.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for coming on, Kenton.
Hey, it's no worries, mate. Yeah, it's my first bit of free time today, to be honest. On police and all that. Anyway, that's a story for another day.
No worries.
All right. Listen, and thanks to everybody who's put their comments in the chat room and taken part in the chat today and put some useful stuff in. So thanks for all that. And we'll try and get a show. I'll speak to Kate privately. We'll try and get a show together and get some more people with more intelligence than me.
No worries, but you slowly starting to cover your mic again.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. You know why? It's because I've got that one. I've got a new phone and it's massive, and I don't know how to hold it because it's got one of the massive screens that go around the corners and all that. And it's really difficult to hold. I should put my headphones on, really, shouldn't I? But anyway, we'll try and get that back together, or try and get a few people together, and then put it out big time so that people could come on, especially with fighting back and resisting the police, and also court cases. If people need assistance, we're helping a massive multi-million-pound case at the moment. So if we can assist people and help them lose the fear, especially dealing with the police, we'll try and get a few people on, and then get it out as far and wide as possible so people could come and ask their questions. I think that's the most important thing. People who are a little bit afraid and still have the fear might learn or be able to ask questions and might be able to lose a bit of the fear, because I don't have it with any of them.
I agree. Someone put a comment in about asking if comments being deleted, but they shouldn't be getting deleted, not from my end anyway. I'm going to stay on for a little bit anyway because we've got the Christmas raffle coming up.
Oh, right. Yeah, who's taking comments out?
No one is. Either we've got Google comment coming up, or if you go to, obviously we can't do it on our end, but on YouTube, if you click on top chat and change that to live chat, it will show you all of the comments, because it might be that way. Because I don't know why, but YouTube has 2 separate comments: live chat comments and then top chat comments.
Oh, okay. I've only got the comments on that are on the StreamYard, obviously, at the moment.
Yeah, they're the live chat ones.
Anyway, I wish you all well. Let's get a meet together with some brighter minds than mine, and get your questions out, and then we'll see what we can assist with.
Definitely.
Thanks. Yeah, and thanks for all the comments and those people involved in the chat as well.
100%. Your man's just put a comment and say, if I didn't wear a mask at work, I'd be singled out as a troublemaker. See, that's the problem. This is where we shouldn't ever have to deal with that sort of situation.
Yeah, but you're still you still have rights. You don't have to wear a mask at work.
You can fight that.
And you can also sue the company £9,000 if people don't know that. You can do it. We haven't done it yet because as soon as you mention it, I've had it in Asda. Came up to me, I'm getting a manager. I said, go and get your manager. I said, you and your manager will be personally sued for up to £9,000 for the discrimination against me for my hidden disabilities. And strangely enough, they walked away, both of them. But again, this is about losing the fear and people understanding what they can and can't do. And again, we're dealing with cops, what you can and can't say, and in the court, what you can and can't say.
Agreed, 100%
Yeah,
agree.
I really have to go.
No worries, Kevin. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, everyone, and thanks for the chat. And we'll speak soon.
Anytime.
Cheers.
All right, guys. So I'll take that off, so I'm not just talking. So you're not talking to a blank screen now. So for anyone who doesn't know, I actually went down to meet Michael Tarrager last night, along with Hells and Brett. Absolutely amazing campaigners actually took me down there to meet him. I've done a couple of videos with him on the channel before, so it was great to actually meet him face to face, and actually, meet him properly. As you can probably see on the sofa behind me, I have got signed copies of his book that are going up for the raffle. I did mention a minute ago to Kenton that we were going to do the raffle, and I know that a couple of subscribers have been asking for the raffle over the last couple of months. So we're going to be doing it for Christmas. I'm going to look at pulling the numbers on Boxing Day. I'm going to see if I can find someone who wants to pull the numbers instead of me, but either way, numbers are getting pulled on Boxing Day. We've got a couple of things already. We're going to be doing 2 raffles. We're going to be doing a raffle for the adults, and we're going to be doing a raffle for children. So if anyone wants to win anything for their kids, then they're more than welcome to join in on the kids raffle. We've also been setting up for the non-profit as well, because we're going to be looking at setting up something so we've got like a retreat or somewhere for families to actually go and actually, for survivors, families, people struggling with assistance, struggling care who need that respite and who need just to get away. We're going to have a look at everything we can do, everything that we can put in place to do it. So the raffle's basically just going to pay for itself anyway. Right, so for the main raffle, for all the grown-ups out there that want to get involved for Christmas and win themselves something for a quid, we've got, this isn't in order by the way, we've still got to put them in order, but you'll be getting a Children Matter t-shirt, a Children Matter hoodie, a special edition top or hoodie, special edition top, special edition hoodie, Children Matter mug, Children Matter flag, Children Matter Lest We Forget flag, Children Matter travel mug, Children Matter cap, Children Matter calendar, which we're putting together. So if you've got any pictures of you and your merchandise that you want to get up for the calendar, then please send them ahead. You can email us at support@childrenmatter.news. I will be able to get through to the team, so you'll be able to send anything in them. We've got the Michael Tarrager books as well. We've got all 3 of them that are signed and ready to go. Children Matter canvas, a Children Matter clock, that's for all of them. Prize donation deadline. I'm going to say New Year's Day for prize donation deadline sort of thing, because they just make it a bit easier. If anyone can let us know beforehand if they're definitely going to do it, but way before Christmas, that'd be perfect. So if you let us know by the end of this month if you're definitely going to have something to donate, that'd be fine. We can definitely put that on the list. We know we've already had one that's donated, which we're just waiting to arrive. So you can donate stuff and can have it in a bit late, as long as we know that it's going to be in a bit late, so we can let obviously winners and whatnot know. Going on to the kids one, we're going to be doing 2 of each for the kids one, because obviously we've not got a range of things that we can do specifically for kids, so there will be 2 of each item going up. So we've got 2 Children Matter tops, 2 Children Matter hoodies, 2 jigsaws, which are going to be custom Children Matter ones, so you can send pictures of yourself, your family together. We can put a Children Matter logo on it and send it off to you, so your kids will have a jigsaw to play with. Special edition top, special edition hoodie, poster, and 2 Children Matter posters. So they'll be going up as well. So we've got them 2 coming up. They're not in order of what yet of what they're going to be doing, so we will be putting them in order today, getting posters done today. I'm going to need my team to keep pestering me and pushing me on that, because I am dragging my feet doing it. I did want it done at the first of the month, but other stuff has come up, and with everything that's going on, it's a bloody nightmare. Lost my train of thought. So the posters are going to be up. As soon as the posters are up, then we'll start doing the tickets. We're not going to be doing the tickets until the posters are ready, just so that we've got the information on there of how and what and where to send whatever. So yeah, tickets won't be going up until that poster goes up. We will make sure that the posters are up everywhere and try and get as much as we can. We have officially got Children Matter, legit. So perfect. I've also got my press pass coming as well, which I've managed to sort out. I'm encouraging the rest of the team to do it as well because it safeguards us with what we're trying to do, and it means we're able to actually bring you the news instead of start bringing it you and then being pushed away from the scene ourselves. So we're going to be trying to do as much as we can to safeguard every one of the team, every one of the supporters, everyone who helps out or tries to help out or wants to come and help out. We're doing our absolute best to make sure that all that's sorted and all that's secure. So I have been dragging my feet with doing the raffle and sorting the raffle out just because obviously, everything else we needed to make sure everything's up in place. Kate, do you have any legal literature that parents can use or template for school? I have one which states any interference with my child will result in personal lawsuit to the head teacher. If you want to send me what you've got over to my email, that'd be great. I have got a family law practice guide from 2016, the Archibald one. That's the only thing I've got. And it is massive, and it is taking me a while to actually go through it, and obviously helping other parents with it as well at the same time as well. So it is, taking a while. So I do apologise for that. I will try and get as many templates up as possible. Make sure that I've got links in everywhere for everyone to get to what they need to get to. There's a couple more new shows coming soon to Children Matter as well. There's going to be one show which is going to be solely on VK. So to see that show, you're going to definitely have to go over and get onto VK to see that. I will start putting the links and everything in the description so that you can go over and you can see them. I'm going to see if I can kind of get them to come on here first, so on YouTube and all the other platforms, so that they can introduce kind of what they're going to be going into. Obviously, due to censorship, they can't go massively into of what they're going to be covering, what they're going to be talking about. So yeah, but it should be a good show. These are two people they've not spoke to each other properly. They have spoke to each other a couple of times. They have got similar interests, both within Children Matter. So trying to get that sorted. We're also looking at kind of a footy dads and lads chat as well. So obviously the men have got a place where they can come and rant and have a laugh and joke around and look at what's going on and discuss plans moving forward and whatnot. It'd be great. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to thank you all for coming on because we have been on for nearly 3 hours. Oops. So yeah, I'm going to thank you all for coming on. Hope to see you again soon anyway. Hopefully you'll see a lot more coming from the channel and a lot more going on the channel. We have got a couple more new shows that are going to be coming up and popping up. I'm just waiting for exact details of everything so I can put it all up and get it all sorted. But we are getting there, guys. We are getting there. We are getting sorted. We are getting on our feet on the ground again. And yeah, I'm trying to evolve to the current situation, which needs doing. I reckon, because it seems to be a kind of nice day, I might go take a walk to my local testing centre because it's not fenced up. I walked past it the other day and it wasn't fenced up. So, might have an ozer. Anyway, guys, thank you all for coming on. Don't forget, like, share and subscribe if you've not already been on. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing with what you do and the support. It's ace. So take care, guys, and see you soon. Oh, I'm best take that off the screen first, aren't I? Keep forgetting. Take care, guys. Bye.